is Monday night, my favourite night of the week. Why, do you ask? Well, of course, we get to watch FIFA in this week 4 of the FIFA 23 EA Sports Cup. And in my opinion, tonight we get to see the best 5 teams. Mike Labelle, of course, is here as well. And Mike, obviously this is 2v2, we're going to get to see, but shall we have a game as well?
Wait, you want to play me?
I've been practicing those Trivella passes, haven't I?
You're going to need more than a little bit of Trivella action.
Ouch, controversial there. Anyway, we'll have a game, and Brandon will bring you up to speed.
Tonight sees us set for another exciting round of end-to-end FIFA action. NiKSNEB, the current E-Champions League winner, leaves new teammate dsaanchez on his guild debut. But up starts Mkers, FUTWIZ and Blue United, all hoping to shake things up in Group B. And in his FGS debut, the Danish wonder kid Vejrgang teams up with the FIFA E World Cup champion Umut, forming an RB Leipzig side that looks the best on paper. Another highly anticipated week of FIFA starts now.
4-0, that was pretty easy.
4-0 for who? Pull up the highlights. Where's production at?
We'll
Let me talk to him.
Guys, and we'll talk about Group B right behind us. I told you it was stacked. Look at those 5 teams in action tonight, Mike Labelle.
And it's impossible to ignore RB Leipzig in action. 2 of the most decorated individuals. Now as a collective, we've got Guild. We're in London. My man Nicholas, if you walk outside, you got a big mural. It's beautiful in Shoreditch. You get an idea what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening. The man is comfortable. I've been spending time here. I've been spending time here.
Anyway, let's talk about tonight then and what is happening.
No, so what we've got going on here, of course, with Group B, we've got Blue United, who I can't wait to discuss. We got the likes of Mkers, we got the likes of FUTWIZ, and everybody in the group can make something happen. There's a lot of big names that are going to be on display.
I think I'm back in action. Yes, we can hear me. So I mentioned there's obviously 5 amazing teams today. You can see them behind us now. Mike was obviously talking about RB Leipzig. You got world champion there, Umut, taking on Anders, who we can't wait to see in action. And then he mentioned Guild. He mentioned Nicholas. We saw the heartbreak, didn't we, in Copenhagen only a few months ago. And he's with a new teammate, dsaanchez. How do you think that will work out?
I'm pretty pumped for this new dynamic. I don't think it necessarily worked as well with Rasik last season. And Nicholas, I'm not saying that he's the problem. I don't think that's the case. We just see him making moves on moves on moves.
Well, the fact that he's back here is something special. They are the 5 teams competing there. But let's find out exactly what their thoughts are going up against these lot behind us.
Who's the best team this year?
I think on paper you have to say Leipzig.
RB Leipzig with an unbelievable team, Anders and Umut, the world champion. Great players individually. Are they going to be a good team together? Can't tell you that.
For me, it's got to be Leipzig. Not too sure how they're going to play. It could be good, could be bad, but don't want to tell that risk.
If we're going to win the tournament, we have to beat the best teams.
I'm just looking forward to playing Mkers after having a troubled experience with them in the past.
I'm up for a challenge and I would like to play against Leipzig in that group.
That's ballsy.
I think we are the best and we do everything to win the tournament.
I'd like to see what Anders is about and hopefully take him down.
I don't think we are scared of a specific team. Yeah, we'll just do our best and hopefully we can win the tournament.
Nah, Leipzig versus like Blue United to see how the score is, so that's 7-0.
Are Blue United even in it? Oh.
RB Leipzig, Guild Esports, Blue United make up this group with Mkers and Team FUTWIZ. That Group B is very open group.
I'm going to disagree with Brandon, their very open group. I think it's stacked. I've said this already. Mkers as well, a team that we know performed in this very stage, and FUTWIZ.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the Swedes. We're looking at Oliboli and OpTolle, 2 players that I really like individually. They work together, they live close to each other. And then how can you ignore FUTWIZ? It's making a lot of noise right now. If you talk to a lot of the pros, the 2v2 partnerships, they're saying this is a team to watch out for, that they think is actually going to top this group, or at least be in that top 2, and they're moving forward.
Yeah, people have been saying they're maybe the dark horses. That is FUTWIZ, of course, Ethan and NiKSNEB. And this is obviously them getting warmed up a little bit earlier. Anders, there he is, the wonder kid, and he's up with Umut, the world champion. Mike Labelle, how did you make that shot? What are you doing over there? Anyway, OpTolle and Oliboli, and then this is the team we've been talking about. FUTWIZ, Ethan there, and Blue United, I mean, the only team from Asia competing here, the top 20 in the world, of course, and Nicholas and his teammate, dsaanchez, who now we can say are local boys, obviously over in Shoreditch at the HQ over there. Well, let's look then at the fixtures tonight, and we always try and pick a few that we're really excited for. Round one, of course, our feature match up there, RB Leipzig taking on Blue United. That is a chance for Blue United to have the shock of all shocks if they got even a point over the world champions. And then, of course, round 5, Mike Labelle. Got to look down there as well, haven't you, to that epic matchup. Rules, we've mentioned this all right if you've been watching over the last 3 weeks. They're a little bit different. 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, 0 for a loss. Yes, you heard me correctly. You can have a draw. Double round robin, of course. So these teams, they get to play each other twice. So in this set of fixtures, and then again a little bit later on. And obviously the top 2 from each group, we'll see them again in January. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the first feature matchup. RB Leipzig taking on Blue United. Have Blue United got a massive mountain to climb?
Everything on paper says that RB Leipzig's going to be extremely offensive, maybe a little bit offensive. But I do like that Blue United kind of comes in where people are writing them off early. And we really haven't seen that throughout this competition. Every single week, there's a lot of unexpected results.
Well, this possibly was one of those, wasn't it? Unexpected result for Umut becoming world champion in the summer. We saw there he defeated Nicholas on penalties at the end. And remember, these guys, Umut and Anders, they are a partnership already in the Bundesliga. They've been successful there. Can this, Mike, translate to FIFA 23?
Everything says that it should. When you have 2 of the most prime and talented individuals, they've been training together, you already have some success as a 2v2, you say this has to work, but they also got to have the most pressure on their shoulders.
Just give me one more fact about Anders. He's so special. Why is he so special?
He does everything well. Offensively, he's a genius. He's a maestro. He's able to do everything online, kind of built up a lot of momentum here. And a lot of people are wondering, we haven't even seen maybe the best Anders. He's brand new to competing in person.
I mean, we saw him, didn't we, at the World Cup, but obviously not playing with Umut here. What can he do on this stage tonight? Well, we'll find out very shortly. Well, we've mentioned the 5 competing teams tonight. We have one more special guest to welcome. Of course, Kyle Walker is back in action, ready to welcome our 5 competing teams.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Yes, it is time to welcome all of our teams from Group B to the stage and see if they can live up to all of the pre-season hype. First up, a team that will know this arena very well and hoping to see if home advantage, they can make the most of it. Representing Team FUTWIZ, it's Ethan and NiKSNEB. Well, making the journey all the way from Japan and representing Blue United EFC, it's Tess and EthxnH. A team that some have tipped as their dark horses here in the competition, wearing the colours of Mkers, it's Oliboli and OpTolle. Our next team features players that know how to win championships. Please welcome here to the arena, dsaanchez and the Iceman, Nicholas 99. And certainly, last but no means least right here, a team that some think they could go on to win the entire tournament. Please welcome Vejrgang and Umut of RB Leipzig Gaming. Guys, it's great to have you here in London. It's great to chat to you ahead of what's going to be hopefully a very exciting tournament for yourselves. And I know lots of people and lots of viewers right now, they'll be tuning in to see what you guys can do as a team. Vejrgang, I'll come to you first because you are used to the pressure online. We know that you stream to so many people. The pressure's there that you don't want to lose any games when it comes to Weekend League. Here you are on the big stage in person. We know you've had some experience of that, but what do we expect tonight? What are you expecting tonight?
I mean, I know we are the best team, so if we just play good, I know that we will win every match.
Well, I like that confidence right there. One man that's full of confidence, and he's certainly backed it up before. Umut, we've seen the scenes of celebration. We've seen times lows as well that come with playing FIFA esports. For yourself, teaming up with this man, what can we expect from you as a team?
Yeah, I think, like Anders said, we're one of the best teams. I think we're one of the favorites, and we just want to play our game. And when we're playing our game, of course, we're playing good then, and we want to win the tournament. But first, we have to come out of group.
How much pressure comes with that, knowing that you think you're one of the best teams here, others are saying you're one of the best teams here, people are already tipping you to go on, certainly qualify top 2 from this group, but to win the actual competition, are you feeling the pressure?
Yeah, of course there's pressure, but yeah, as said before, I know we are one of the best teams, so if we just play our own game, then yeah, for sure we can win the tournament.
And there's going to be plenty of other teams that are watching from home, some that are in different groups that are watching on to see what they can expect from you guys tonight. Have you got a little message for some of those other teams that have done well so far, but you're here to show them what you can do?
No, nothing to say about because we're just here to play for ourselves, and we don't care about the other ones. So we can't expect that we are sure out of the group and we will play against them. So we just have to focus on the group stage today, and 1 month again, group stage, and hopefully we go through then, and then we can concentrate to the others.
Well, good luck for this evening. Thank you so much for chatting to us. You can make your way on and get ready for this game. A huge feature matchup, RB's at Leipzig taking on Blue United. And there's 1 minute 30 to go until those games start. That's enough of my voice. There's 2 guys that are eagerly anticipating this matchup, and they're raring to go. Richard Buckley, Brandon Smith, over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Carl. Yes, week 4 of the EA Sports Cup is here. Week 3, this man wasn't here. He's back again, but he's brought out this week. Where have you been shopping?
Look, I missed a week. I had to come back with a bang, and I came back with a visual masterpiece, and it's this red velvet jacket. If you could feel it, it feels like beauty. In a word, that's what it is.
Well, something that is going to be beautiful tonight is seeing what a team that RB Leipzig is in action. Anders Vejrgang in London, Rich. He's making his FGS debut, and there's a lot of hype about this match. And there's a lot of hype about this duo, in fact. That is what happens when you put a Danish wonder kid who went 500+ wins in Weekend League alongside the FIFA E World Cup champion and put them into a 2v2 team. They can cause damage this year, but can they? There's a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
Pressure is the word that describes this team the best, in my honest opinion. When you look at their performances, we know mechanically they are, if not the best players, they're right up there, top 3 players in the world. There's so much anticipation in the air for Anders Vejrgang's real sort of EA Sports debut, you would say, on an EA broadcast. Yes, we saw him at, in Copenhagen with Denmark. Didn't go to plan. He was in tears during that game where they got eliminated. Will he be in tears of adulation or despair in 2.5 hours' time?
Yeah, it's a great group as well. Yes, you've got Blue United in there. Some would say an underdog. The only team from Asia in this tournament. They have a lack of playing against European teams and other styles of play, but it's one leg of FIFA. And when we've seen Asian teams in the past come and travel over to Europe, they always have a surprise package in them. Maybe it could be a certain mechanical move in the game, something like that can always just cause a little bit of mischievousness, as we've seen in many times here in the EA Sports Cup.
It's just a fact. I spoke to all 4 teams other than Blue United, and I sort of wanted to get the vibe of, do you know what they're going to bring? No, we don't. We've not practiced against them. We've not seen their gameplay. We just don't know what to expect. So it's that added extra sort of surprise element, the dark horse element of Blue United. Can they perform a miracle in this opening matchup?
Yeah, as we said, we are about to get action underway here in week 4 as the whistle goes. Kickoff is here in week 4. And for the first time in a while, we're going to get the Twitch chat involved in this one. We want to know at home who is going to score the first goal. We're not talking about which team, we're talking about in-game here. Think of all the FUT items that have been used in this EA Sports Cup and give us a prediction in the chat. Richard's got his eyes on this chat right now. Who is scoring the opening goal? I'm going to go on a limb, I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to say Hullet.
Brandon thinks Rude, Hullet. I'm having a cast over it. We've got Ronaldo. Someone just said Donnarumma. Not too sure if you understood the assignment, my friend.
R9's going to be the man. We'll try and catch a name in there.
Mbappe. Harry Maguire, we'd love to see it.
Jarzinho got a shout out there as well. He's a player that we know has been causing so much damage in this EA Sports Cup. Well, let's keep an eye on seeing who comes out on top. Did you give me your prediction, by the way, of who's going to score first? Well, there's the first goal scorer. It's Kylian Mbappe, and it's just come after 4 minutes. If you guessed that right, congratulations, because we got it wrong.
I mean, I'll say Mbappe now. I think Mbappe will be the first goal scorer. Inform Mbappe. It's taken Red Bull, RB Leipzig, 4.5 minutes to open their deadlock here. What a win. I mean, I'm saying what a win. There's only 4 minutes in, but I'll be honest.
We love that, though. Honestly, the chat is going absolutely crazy. Mbappe with the opening goal there. And, I mean, one of the very few... I mean, he's had a few informs now, Mbappe, but for a couple of weeks, Richard, he was the only gold item, maybe alongside Virgil van Dijk, that was still being used in these teams. Because for those at home that might not understand, the players here at this tournament have got a very special edition of FIFA where they can use basically any player in the game up to a certain release date. That includes new promos that have come out, such as the out-of-position promo. We had the rule breakers of pastimes, one to watch, etc. Hence why you're seeing such a mixture of foot items in these teams. It's basically as simple as this, Rich. There's all the players in the game, build your dream team.
Yeah, and a lot of those teams we see the best items used. However, it's the potential red herring that goes through. It might be Vieira at centre-back. It might be Virgil van Dijk still being used in the teams. An icon potentially like Eusebio or Johan Cruyff stepping up to the limelight that give us that extra little bit of juice, shall we say, to squeeze out of the squad building orange.
Well, some would say quite a rocky start to play in the EA Sports Cup for Blue United. As I said, the only Asian team that were part of the 20 that were invited to this tournament. What's interesting now is keep an eye on the individual player cursors just above the players' heads. If you can just see there, anyone that's controlled with the red cursor on the ball now from Zidane, that's going to be Umut, and then as soon as it's on yellow, that is Vejrgang. On the flip side, you're going to see EthxnH and Tess control different players in the game. Just keep an eye on those small intricacies that each player will add into this 2v2.
Absolutely, yes. As you can see, Guild Esports up against Mkers here. 12 minutes underway, and it's going to be Mkers with a lovely driven pass into the feet of R9. Slightly fortunate that it rebounds straight back into Ruud Gullit, but the Swedes, 12 minutes into their opening tie, take the lead.
Yeah, Virgil van Dijk couldn't quite get there, could he, for Guild Esports. Team Mkers, though, what a team that is. It's not the usual Italian duo you'd expect for what an Italian esports organisation. They've sort of dipped their toes into Swedish FIFA, and since they signed players from Sweden, they've never looked back, have they?
It's just been a real sort of progressive move, you would say. They've maybe gone out of their comfort zone, they've looked into Sweden, and that duo of Oliboli and OpTolle we'll talk about later throughout the broadcast, but a fantastic performance in the Team of the Season Cup. We saw both the players integral in Sweden's good performance at the E-Nations Cup over the summer as well. It's been a real positive 12 months for Mkers.
A team that's changed, Richard, over the summer, coming into FIFA 23 was Guild Esports. There has been an equaliser in this game. Oh. What a turn. I could only guess that was Nicholas. With R9, Guild Esports back in the title 1-1. Brilliant piece of FIFA.
Love that animation as well. L1, R1 together, and you press the left analog stick down, just shimmying the ball. Completely sort of missing it, the dummy, a variation of it. Real nice play to play.
Well, there's your scores as it stands. Guild 1, Mkers 1, our featured match here. RB Leipzig up by a goal to nil. After just 4 minutes, it was Mbappe that scored the goal for Umut and Vejrgang. So far. If you have tuned in to watch Team FUTWIZ, they're currently sitting out of this first round. They will be in action for the rest of the games tonight from round 2, 3, 4 and 5. What I found quite interesting, Richard, is the goals we've seen go in have slowly started to descend across weeks in the EA Sports Cup. Week 1 we had 33 goals, week 2 we had 28. Last week, only 24. I mean, hopefully we get more this week, but in terms of the biggest goal score margins, it's only one-legged games of FIFA, isn't it? We're rarely going to see probably more than 3 goals.
But also is a direct correlation of players getting more used to playing FIFA 23, getting used to the game. In week 1, I think it had been out 14, 15 days, the game, a global launch. Now we're a month into it, we're 5 weeks into it. But teams are getting more practice in, teams are getting better prepared, and really starting to understand the game at a very, very deep level.
Here's RB Leipzig building nicely. Vejrgang and Umut so far in sync with everything on the pitch. They do lead by a goal. They're looking for two. It's Vejrgang with Pele. He timed it green. Could be a tap-in for Umut. Mbappe was so close to a brace, but the goalkeeper said no.
It's a fantastic bit of goalkeeper movement from EthxnH as the captain of this squad. He had control, moved him across. Anders Vejrgang pulling out step-overs. It's a great, great sight to see. Double step over, and then the goalkeeper movement was perfect to stop the strike.
Well, this game's swinging, Richard, because there's a goal back to Mkers. A lovely one more pass there between OpTolle and Oliboli. The two Swedes lead Guild by 2-1. What a game that is, by the way, in the first half, and we've had 3 goals in it.
Well, you asked for goals, you're seeing them so far. We've not even played 45 minutes. We've got 4 goals across the games.
Whipped in, this is nice from Blue United. Vejrgang, it's still in the air, could be a chance. It's still not dealt with. Zidane, Vejrgang, everyone's in there trying to get the ball clear. But we said watch out for what Blue United might have up their sleeve. Set pieces, we know they're dangerous this year. That corner nearly caused problems.
It was fired like a rocket into the box. Just about managed to get a body in the way there, did RB Leipzig, but a very, very interesting set piece that they pulled out there. Which goes to show the depth in which you have to be creative, using set plays to your advantage, using short free kicks, long sort of crosses into the box, whatever it may be.
You've got to say, though, Blue United still so in this game, Rich. Being best of one, yes, they might have had all the possession across the first 45 minutes here, but that corner goes in for them. We're looking at a 1-1 scoreline at half-time. As we said in the other game, it has swung. Team Mkers are in the lead, and I think that's just ticked over to half-time.
Look, very rarely do I agree with the chat, but I was watching the chat, and there were a lot of people in there that said this is going to be a whitewash. They're going to run away with this game. It's not happened so far. Yes, they might have had more possession. Yes, they might have had a better expected goals. But after 4 minutes and a 1-goal scoreline, you expected RB Leipzig to maybe be 2 or 3 up at this point. It's not meant to be as of yet.
I think they just got a little bit excited about the first goal scorer. And they were like, you know, we need to go and score a goal really, really early. Please let us know in the chat as well what you think about this today, because I'm sure it's going to get better as we go throughout the weeks and find our way to knockout play. Back underway for the second half here, and he's still 1-0 to RB Leipzig, looking to kick off their first outing in 2v2 FGS FIFA. They did have a great year last year. We got to talk about in the virtual Bundesliga. They were the club champions there, but we didn't really see them come into play much across the E-Club World Cup or even the Team of the Season Cup last year.
I mean, they weren't particularly involved. I mean, it was the season of Umut's life, lifting the E-World Cup. However, 2v2 for these particular players didn't really mesh as you would have expected it to.
Some of the chat saying the red jacket is phenomenal. We love that. Pele could be in for a chance. Defended well by Blue United. I think one thing that we have to also talk about is that Vejrgang only turned 16 halfway through the season last year. In comes another shot, that time from Umut. Big save from Donnarumma.
I'm just having a quick look over this squad. It's been, since half-time, all RB Leipzig pressure. Has any changes been potentially made for Blue United at this point? Not that I can see on the pitch as of yet.
They're giving away possession, though, carelessly. Zidane there, just a really poor pass. There has been a goal in the other game. Let's jump over and see it. It's swung back the other way. It's just about gone in. I think it's an own goal from Zambrotta. But Guild Esports aren't going to mind, and either is Vejrgang, who has just made it 2-0 for RB Leipzig Gaming. We'll try and get you the replay as it came through. 56 minutes on the clock. Here was the goal. It came from an awful bit of possession that was lost from Blue United. This was the build-up nicely. Theo Hernandez being controlled by Umut on a plate for R9, and Vejrgang saying, yes, please, every day of the week, that's a guaranteed goal.
So far, a lot of the pre-match chatter was about how RB Leipzig can deal with the pressure, and also how good are they really going to be. Pretty outstanding so far. 58 minutes gone, they've not looked to be under pressure at all, only one set play. They've been dominant in possession, they've been creating chances. And typically, in FIFA Esports, you start cold, you start like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. If they're going to continue to improve, I think the rest of this group might be looking over their shoulder.
They haven't really put a foot wrong, sorry. Like defensively, they look so in shape. And we hear there's been another goal in this game. Surely not goal number 5. It's gone back the way of Mkers. Cafu just taking matters into his own hand, running along the length of the pitch and putting on a plate for Ginola.
What a game between Guild and Mkers.
I score, you score, apparently. Mkers leading 3-2.
Talk about being direct as well, just sprinted in a straight line. Straight down the byline. Simple cut across the box. Ginola couldn't miss.
Last 25 here. RB Leipzig looking for goal number 3. Can they get it? Umut controlling Hullet. Finds Pele that's got Vejrgang on it. Still Vejrgang now with Pele. Looks to try and win a corner. Just about kept him from Blue United. Looking at the fixtures tonight, RB Leipzig will be playing Mkers. It could be the two teams that have already got 3 points on the board, matching up in game 2. Here's Pele, edge of the box. Vejrgang in control. Pele still just enjoying possession. Looks to recycle out well to Fia Hernandez, who create the second goal. Just that pressure.
Just not allowing them to play, not allowing them to really build into the game at all. You see the formation on the screen there. 5-2-1-2 from RB Leipzig. Questions certainly being asked for Blue United with 17 minutes left to play.
Well, we're always going to say it's about Blue United, weren't we, Richard? It's just that it's the matter of the facts that we don't know how long they've been in Europe exactly, and the time they've had to, one, settle into the time zone here in London, but two, have they been playing against European teams? Because no doubt that play style out in Asia will be very different. We had the same conversation last week with South American players and how much preparation they've had, which, don't get me wrong, for SPQR was terrible. For MGCF wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I was watching, unfortunately under the weather last week, and I was watching on my phone sort of the games that were taking place, and I think for SPQR it just looked like they were off the pace just a little bit, whether that was in possession, whether that was in carving out chances, or even trying to convert those opportunities on goal. They looked like not necessarily underprepared, but all the other teams had their number. And I mean, you saw that in the performances, unfortunately, going away empty-handed.
I mean, you look at their result, Richard. They're the only team who didn't pick up a single point last week from a possible 12. It doesn't look pretty.
They get 4 weeks now to practice, to really get in there, get in the trenches, and come back on the 28th of November and try and correct their mistakes.
Well, even a goal difference here could come into play, as we have seen across the last 3 weeks of play, how tightly contested the groups have been. So far, you could say the record holders with points was Team Focus. So they picked up 10 points from a possible 12. Complexity were also unbeaten last week. They got 8 points from 12, 2 wins, 2 draws. Let's see how this Group B plays out. It's a good idea there from Blue United. Unfortunately, just too heavy on the pass from Ronaldo Nazário, who's trying to pull out ongoing runner of the foot hero, David Ginola. Final 10 minutes. They've sort of just played this game at their own pace, haven't they?
They've just not allowed Blue United to be ever in the tie. After 4 minutes, they find themselves 1-0 down, and the story of the game was really coming into it. How long can Blue United keep RB Leipzig at bay? Can they keep it until the 60th, 70th minute and then try and snatch something, try and snatch a late goal or potentially an equaliser? But as soon as they got out of stride, really, Red Bull Leipzig, Blue United just haven't been able to catch up.
Never being best of one, you have to take your chances, it goes without saying. Can they find a goal just to settle a few nerves? Ball into the box, it goes kindly, it just can't quite find.
Not Messi, really. You want though at the back post, is it? Heading it.
Not the tallest of players last time I checked. Long ball forward. Finds Jarzinho. Lovely scoop turn away from his man. That's Vejrgang in control. They'll be happy to keep the ball with RB Leipzig without conceding a goal. 3 points on the board, sending out a message to the rest of this group. Maybe even one more. And we'll have enough time to create one more chance. Added
3 points on the board.
1 minute. That looks like it will do, I see it. An electric start from the German team. And for Umut and Anders, it's all smiles here in London. 3 points on the board in Group B. And a great start to the EA Sports Cup. Referee conclude the tie. There you go, 3 points on the board.
Convincing victory. 3 points, clean sheet. It's the perfect start for this Red Bull Leipzig roster. And I think they took the foot off the gas a little bit. They were cruising throughout the majority of that second half. The final score 2-0. Blue United fall to the favourites in RB Leipzig Gaming. Umut, the world champion, and Vejrgang, the wonder kid.
Yeah, incredible stuff from those two. What a duo it is being put together on paper as well. Last year, they were virtual Bundesliga club champions. This year, looking to take the EA Sports Cup crown. It's going to be a long, long process, though. They've got to get through the group stages. Keep in mind, only the top 2 teams out of the 5 in the groups will get through. It is narrow margins, and you have to be bringing your best FIFA every single week you do come.
Yeah, you certainly do, and I also think you just don't have that much time to play either, with it only being one leg, with it being sort of quick fire matches as well. For example, FUTWIZ, they've missed this first game, but then they might have got 3, 4, 5 minutes in between each game, so you need to have real short-term memory, a little bit like myself, can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, and just crack on with the games. Make sure that you keep that motor rolling and rolling to the next game fresh, feeling good, and hopefully picking up 3 points.
Yeah, and you might just be able to see behind me there. The game is still underway here.
3-3.
There has been another goal in it. This game has been swinging. Guild have just equalised with inform Mbappe with 10 minutes left in the game. Guild Esports have never been in front, Richard. That's the big point here. But they've never let up. They've always found a way back into the tie. I'll be in for one more goal, maybe. 8 minutes left.
We joined it at the perfect time.
Keep in mind, Mkers in that dark strip from left to right. OpTolle and Oliboli have led this game, as I said, 3 different times. They've conceded. They've not kept a lead. Maybe something here. Cristiano Ronaldo has been brought on. Number 18 on the screen, not his normal number. It's being manually controlled just around that penalty area. See what he can do. And it goes! Oh, he scores directly from the corner. We've seen that so many times online, but it's such a comical mistake that can happen if you just tease the goalkeeper out a bit too much.
You'll get punished. Don't be moving the keeper that much. Whipped into the far post.
Honestly, I wonder who's controlled the goalkeeper there, whether it's dsaanchez or Nicholas.
We can have a look at it right now. This is it. The corner whipped in. Yaya Toure over it. Nothing they can do about it at the back post whatsoever. Goalkeeper completely taken out the equation. And what a game, what a goal to potentially win an absolute firework of an opening game.
And one man that's got so much FIFA knowledge sitting behind them, Christian Spateri, comes in to the field with Team Mkers this year as a player coach, looking to get those two on the mark for 3 points on the board in Group B. But you see what they were trying to do there. They were obviously trying to stop Cristiano Ronaldo's ongoing run, but they let up, and they won't be making that mistake again for the rest of the night, bringing the goalkeeper out that far, because with what? Under 5 minutes left now, they're not going to make the same mistake, surely, Richard, of giving away another goal for the 4th time in this game.
Well, it sounds easier than it is in practice, because you're going to have an onslaught of pressure coming at you from Guild Esports, Nicholas and dsaanchez.
Surely not. They've already come back 3 different times. Will they come back for a 4th to snatch a point from this opening game? I moaned about a lack of goals and maybe slowly a lack of them week by week. We've had a decent first round here. What, 7 in this game plus the 2? We've had 9. That's only from 1 round of fixtures. We've still got 4 more rounds coming tonight. Looking to take time out of the game, Cristiano Ronaldo. Does lose possession and gives
one
more sliver of hope to Guild Esports to get this ball up the pitch. Surely it's not going to happen. Big win from Virgil van Dijk. There is a free kick given away, but we've played 2 minutes. Surely as soon as that ball is kicked, that is going to be the end of this tie, unless the referee's going to let them lump it into the box.
Stick it in the mixer. Patrick Vieira.
Surely not. Vieira goes long, headed away by Huller. That could be the one that gets them 3 points. Out it goes, and Team Mkers. It took them long enough to go in front on a 4th occasion. A very clever corner that was taken quickly by Yaya Toure will give the Swedes their first 3 points on the board in Group B.
Fabulous start to this group, honestly. You see the full-time score there from Umut and Vejrgang for Red Bull Leipzig 2-0, 4-3 end-to-end affair that was just won there from Mkers. It's starting to shape up this group very, very nicely.
Yeah, plenty of goals as well. As I said, 7 in one leg of FIFA. I can assure you that probably won't happen again tonight, unless we're very, very, very lucky. But what a start for RB Leipzig. As we said, 2 points on the board. FUTWIZ didn't take part in this round. They're in action in the next round. But what's more exciting, Rich, Mkers take on RB Leipzig in round 2. The two teams that have just come off the back of a win, they're going to be full of confidence.
Well, are we going to see potentially a streak start to emerge as well? There was rumours and sort of innuendo that we might see a 12-point haul from RB Leipzig here today. Mkers standing their way in game 2.
Yeah, the pressure could be on their shoulders, but so far so good. And I wouldn't even say they're at their best yet. Maybe they're in like gear 3 of potential gear 6 for Vejrgang and Umut. I felt like there was a lot more that they could still give.
Yeah, they definitely took the foot off the gas. If we're throwing car references here, there, and everywhere, they were cruising to a victory, 2-0. I mean, I expect to see an improvement in performance from them, which is a scary, scary sight for the rest of the field.
Yeah, well, they've got 3 more games today here in Group B. But for now, let's head down to Carl Walker with one of those teams that have just picked up their first 3 points.
Brandon, Richard, thank you so much. Yes, I am joined by Team Mkers. Unbelievable game right there. We've got to start off by talking about those final 30 in-game minutes, let's say, winning 3-2. Guild then come back, make it 3-3, and then that corner that everyone was talking about. The smile on your face as well says it all. What a matchup that was.
Yeah, it was a tough game, a boring game too, because they are a bit possession players. So it's hard to create chances because you have to be clinical in the chances when you build up. But the corner, it was Oliboli, because I don't know how to do corners. I don't score that kind of goals. I'm a real FIFA player. I score passing goals. So it's not my, it's his goal.
Well, let's talk about that then, because obviously working together as a team, you might have the passing goals, but sometimes you just need a little bit of magic. And to win that game, to make it 4-3, we certainly saw that magic. Was that the plan, or did you just capitalise on that goalkeeper coming out a little bit too much?
Yeah, I think we talked about it, corners. If they move the keeper, I will try to score. And it worked this time, so yeah, it's really good.
And you said that it was a difficult game. I mean, every single time you went ahead, they managed to come back. We know the skills of both dsaanchez and Nicholas. Was that pressure there? Were you thinking about that, thinking the Iceman is on the other side of this desk right here? If we give him one chance, he will take it. Did you know that you were facing one of the best in the world?
Yeah, of course, but we beat them in E-Nations. We destroyed them in E-Nations, if I'm being honest. Played. We outplayed them in E-Nations, but we didn't score a goal. So no, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
It doesn't matter at all. You've got 3 points in your opening game, and you can see by the smiles on their faces just how much it means to them. Mike LaBelle, Rachel Stringer, let's break that one down. Mike, could you score a corner like that?
I can score the corner kick. I'm just throwing it out there. But I don't know if it would be a real goal, because OpTolle was like, I don't know. That's the first interview we've seen. I think he threw shade towards Oliboli.
So in terms of that, are you a real FIFA player or are you a fake FIFA player?
I don't know. I didn't know that was a fraudulent FIFA activity. You moved the goalkeeper. I just capitalized.
I mean, I have no idea, but I'd love to get a deep dive into what he meant by that. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the RB Leipzig game against Blue United. We kind of thought that was how it would play out, but how good did you think RB Leipzig were in that game?
Well, they started out with that opening goal from kickoff, which put them in a position that allowed them to get ahead and kind of carry on, but they didn't score a lot more afterward.
No, well, let's have a look at the other match then, which was the big match, 4-3 in the end for Mkers. You can see that being played out, the highlights behind us, over Guild, which I'm going to say was a little bit unexpected, Mike, but Kyle Walker called Mkers the underdogs. I was like, no, they're not. I think they're like super bright in terms of what they have, their ability to do. They play with each other all the time, don't they?
And I rate both these guys again individually, and they played together on the national team in those international competitions. Of course, in Mkers as a team as well. They have a lot of experience. They might be some of the most experienced players as a collective that we have in action this week.
Yeah, exactly. They obviously play together, like Mike said, national team and obviously for Mkers as well. And they just kept ahead all the time.
And there's that goal that you see with the direct corner kick. I don't know, it looks like OpTolle celebrated it just like it was a real goal, or a goal that counts the same as anything else. But you see the final results, 2-0 with RB Leipzig, and then of course the game with Mkers and Guild. And the big takeaway there was 7 goals. I didn't expect that. Anytime you see NiKSNEB in action, typically he's so good at slowing games down that you're gonna have a lot of possession play. And you saw that in the interview, but they sped them up and they capitalized. They're very clinical.
Yeah, and I mean, that scoreline doesn't really show that Guild were not in that matchup. They very much were in that matchup. What was your take home from how they played?
I thought it was going to be a draw, actually. And I was surprised again that there was that many goals being scored, because I just know they would prefer a little bit of a slower game. But I was entertained. Coming from a neutral perspective, you're going to give me 7 goals, I will sign up for any petition that you're offering to have that kind of back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was a massive matchup on that side. And obviously, RB Leipzig getting the 3 points over Blue United. Let's just clear up then what that means after one stage already. Mkers on 3, RB Leipzig on 3, and then you've got 3 teams on 0 as it stands. Team FUTWIZ yet to play their first matchup. They go up against Guild Esports in the second round in a short while. That is our feature matchup there. I mean, you've always been talking about it, Mike. You're excited to see the FUTWIZ guys in action.
I just think they're coming into this with a lot of momentum, and it's working offline, online. When you talk to other pros, a lot of people don't want to match up against them, which gives you a little bit of extra emphasis when you get onto the big stage, when you step into the pit.
And I guess FUTWIZ will have been watching that Guild Mkers matchup there. Will they be, I guess, encouraged by what they saw?
I'm sure they'd rather play against NiKSNEB and Guild after they come off a loss. So that's kind of what's happening here. You got to sit, you got to watch. And it's a matter of how quickly you can adapt. We've been here now for multiple weeks, and we've seen it go well for the team that's been sitting out. And we've also seen it go horrifically poorly, and they just look like they did not get a good warm-up game.
Don't say that. That's negative. We hope it goes super well for Team FUTWIZ, of course. They'll be watching and have just seen what Guild did there. They obviously got 0 points to start off their campaign. These guys, though, the local team, they'll be wanting to do something special. And can they get 6 points? The guys there from RB Leipzig, but these 2 boys here, OpTolle and Oliboli, they want an extra 3. We'll see you after the break. The EA Sports Cup is presented by PlayStation Tournaments.
Compete in PlayStation Tournaments. Win your share of cash prizes, FIFA points, and more as you face off in FUT and club competitions. Sign up for weekly and monthly tournaments on your PS4 console or at compete.playstation.com to test your skills on the pitch. Think you have what it takes?
PlayStation.
Welcome back to London for the EA Sports Cup. And as you can see, Richard has subbed down. Subbed in is Lisa Manley, professional FIFA player at PGS Esports. Great to see you back. You're here in week 2 of the tournament. I know you enjoyed that one. Back again for week 4. How excited are you to jump into the games today?
Yeah, I'm very excited, actually. I saw 7 goals in the last round, so I'm hoping in this round it is a very hype game, I think. Yeah,
we had, what, 2 fantastic games in the last round, a 2-0 win for RB Leipzig and a 4-3 win. But we come into this one, Lisa, because we haven't seen FUTWIZ in action yet. They took the break in round 1. There will be an action for the rest of play tonight. But they're coming against this side here. They will be bitterly disappointed after losing, but losing in the way they did. That corner coming in so late was a mistake they won't want to see again in a hurry.
Yeah, we know how OP corners are this year, and I mean, they capitalised on it. They're going to be very unfortunate going into this game. However, obviously, FUTWIZ haven't played a game yet, so could they be quite cold coming into this game? Guild are, you could say, warm up.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we are going to jump underway into this round 2. There's the whistle, and it's time to jump in to another game. A few small technical changes there into the controller inputs and camera settings. But in this round, keep in mind, it is Guild against FUTWIZ, and it's RB Leipzig against Mkers. Blue United sit out of that round. That other game is going to be quite interesting, Lisa, because RB Leipzig won their last game 2-0. And as we know, Mkers just came off the back of that 4-3 win. That one could be fireworks, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's going to be similar to the last game. I think there's going to be a lot of goals flying in for each team. Obviously, we know Mkers, they ended up playing really well there. A lot of goals. On the flip side, they ended up scoring, Leipzig, they ended up scoring, what, 2 goals? Probably could have been a lot more. So I think it's going to be a great game.
And obviously, technically, this is the 4th week of action here in the EA Sports Cup. This is the first chance that a lot of these teams would have had, obviously, to kick off their EA Sports Cup journey. We'll talk more on this point in a second. There may have been a goal in the other game already. We said it could be fireworks. There generally could be some fireworks in that game. Here's Guild Esports kicking from left to right with the first chance of the game. Could be the first goal of the game. They look for the one more pass, and it was defended well by Team FUTWIZ. But the point of the matter is, Lisa, I wanted to say is, what do you think the teams could have learned from these first 3 weeks that are coming into week 4 for their debut here?
Yeah, I think that every single competitor is at similar levels, so it's going to take a lot of hard work to end up beating the opponents that you're playing. We know, obviously, the likes of Tess, very good going forward, very skillful. There's certain players that are very good defensively. We know how good Anders is, both going forward and defensively. So I think it's just about working who's going to press, who's going to cover, and very good play here.
Really good feat. I think that may have been from NiKSNEB there. Obviously, we'll speak more about the FUTWIZ duo because it deserves a lot of mention. You've got EthxnH and NiKSNEB in there. They were a duo that played last year. They were very unlucky last year. They were 1 game away from qualifying from the Team of the Season Cup. They lost to Levante in the FGS Open. That was the online qualification last year. We didn't see them in the FIFA E-Club World Cup finals, but they did play in the Premier League. They're representing Crystal Palace, and I think one thing they do have on a lot of teams is, 1, they're young, 2, they're very confident, and 3, they just seem to know how each other play FIFA. What a start!
And, I mean, a green timed it gives you more of a chance of it going in. You can see how confident they are, the way they move the ball. I mean, the way they press as well, the way they player switch as well. It's just incredible. And as you mentioned, they've been playing together for so long, and that's why they are so good. A lot of teams are speaking about them on how they play, and I think they're going to be one to probably top this group, although there is Leipzig involved as well.
But we'll talk about the finish technique on that, Lisa. It's not the most ordinary finish on that. It was time green from Hullet, of all people. It was from quite some distance. I mean, the percentages of that going in isn't, I wouldn't say 95 plus. I mean, it might be quite high because it was time green, but it's a risky shot to take from that far out, but maybe it's the confidence that we said about this FUTWIZ team.
Yeah, you wouldn't really expect to shoot from there. Maybe if it was Trevello, we know how OP they are this year. However, they're confident, they're green and stuff. The chance of it going in is obviously higher. It's not sort of like a sweaty, you could say, where you put it across the box for a 95% chance. However, it works, and they've obviously been practicing it.
I think that was Ethan that got the goal. He's sort of the captain of this team. He's got the blue cursor, an icon above his in-game player head. Obviously, with the turquoise green, it is NiKSNEB there on the flip side. Keep an eye on the red cursor. That's Nicholas, the captain of Guild, and dsaanchez controlling that yellow player icon there. Remember, we're playing 2v2 FIFA. There has been a goal in this game, and it's gone the way of RB Leipzig. It's Umut that scored that goal. So far, on paper, RB Leipzig scored 3 goals. They've conceded none. They've looked brilliant.
Yeah, defensively they're a very good team. We saw the formation they were playing, 5 at the back as well. That could be a reason to why they're defending so well. However, the way they player switch, my coach, I spoke to quite a bit about Anders and the way that he plays, and he says player switching, every time you get the ball, you've got a lot of players around you, and that's why he's so good. And especially with a world champion, I mean, they're going to be even more deadly. Yeah, what a team that is on paper, as we said. A guy that went, what, 525 games of FUT Champs unbeaten, maybe even more. I think it might be 530. With a world champion, they've been able to create an unbelievable duo. They played, as we said, a little bit last year in Germany. Now they're here, fresh in London for a brand new FGS season. $250,000 this tournament offers you. A 2v2 tournament. The finals will be in January next year. But there is such a way and such a journey to go on before we get that far. With only 2 teams going through the group as well, you can't physically lose out on any points, really. Ball towards the back post. This could be dangerous. Virgil van Dijk was there. It was a great idea again. It was Ethan that had that header opportunity, but just couldn't quite connect with it. Yeah, obviously they've been practicing corner routine and whipped it to the back stick. You expect Virgil to at least probably get it on target there, but we speak about the group, and to be honest with you, I kind of think this is a group of death as well. I think individually, every single player here is a very good player. You know, you've got world champions, you've got Nicholas, who's the Iceman, and he's won so many tournaments this year. And you've got Mkers, you've got Oliboli, OpTolle, you know, they've won so many tournaments this year. So individually, you expect the majority of these players as a team to go through, but like you mentioned, only 2 teams can go through. And of the top 2, as we said, someone will be bitterly disappointed, or maybe a couple of teams by the end of play today. Perisic finds Pele. This is a chance into the box for Gil. Massive save from Edwin van der Sar, and it could have been a gift for Kylian Mbappe. Can you be critical on that chance? Could they have done more? I don't know about that. To be honest with you, I just think it was a really, really good save. You know, that's why you have the player like van der Sar in goal, because in 1v1 situations, he makes himself big. Maybe you could have greened it, maybe a little ball roll, but I mean, it's just a massive chance that they should have probably scored, to be honest. One of them where you just didn't have any time really to react. Chance goes begging though. Brilliant save from van der Sar. Here's Jarzinho. This is FUTWIZ looking for a 2nd goal in the game there. Trying to find the right angle. Red timed from Mbappe. When it's time red, there's never really a chance of it going into the back of the net. One thing I did notice though was Perisic on the pitch. Bit of a change there. Could be one of those new promo items that's coming. I mean, it's normally Zambrotta or Cafu, or not sure to say Cafu on that side that gets the nod. They've looked to change it up a little bit here, Guild. Yeah, it's very interesting to see the likes of Perisic. Obviously a new card, we know how OP he is. Maybe someone that they've used in their team at home and they really wanted to implement them into the team. But when you've got an unlocked account and you can use anyone, you probably expect a Vieira or Hullet in that position. But it seems to be working. I know obviously the first game they lost, but it was a narrow margin that they lost by. Zidane, Hullet teased a power shot from that far out. I mean, that in itself, you can start teasing power shots. I mean, you could cause some havoc there, because if you're the opponent, you're rushing players out, aren't you, to try and get anyone in the way of the edge of the box. Ethan, great feet with R9, added time of just 1 minute in the first half here. Clever. FIFA finds Cafu, defended well. Is that going to be us? Yes, it will be half-time here. Very patient, aren't they, around the box forwards? There's no rush for them to move the ball forward, but it's working well for him. Yeah, I know I don't like to play against people that do that, because you don't know whether to press. You don't want to give them too much time, because you know how good Chivelas are this year. However, if you don't press them, you saw a green time shot from distance already, so it's a sticky situation, to be honest with you. Well, a lot of people have been talking about Team FUTWIZ as a team to watch out for. They've been having some incredible results in sort of online friendlies and scrims coming into this one, but if Guild were to lose this, it would be 0 points from 6 in their first 2 matchups. There's the stats at half-time, Lisa. Can we take too much away from it? Because in the nicest way, Guild have got a better XG than Team FUTWIZ, and Team FUTWIZ have had 4 more shots than them. Yeah, I think it's been quite a close game. Passing stats were quite similar there. However, obviously, FUTWIZ have had more shots. To be honest with you, majority of their shots have been from distance. So, I mean, I think you can't really take too much from that. I think it's quite a close game. And why do you think FUTWIZ have been going for maybe those lower percentages chances from the edge of the box? Just because that's where they're getting the space? Or is it a case of they just physically can't break down as defensive Guilds, do you think? I think they have broke down them quite well in this game. I think it seems to be working for them, so if it's working for you, why not go for a couple more? We did see them go for it a little bit earlier, but they did end up red timing it, and in them situations you can't be red timing it because it's not going to go anywhere near the goal. Wait a minute, this could be a mistake.
from FUTWIZ. The giveaway possession, this could be a gift for Guild if they can work this chance out perfectly. Pele with Nicholas, it still is being controlled by Nicholas now, who's dancing with Pele. Well played, Virgil van Dijk, still is alive. dsaanchez! No, their back's against the wall, and they've just been unravelled.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't make them type of mistakes at this level. You're going to get punished for it, and they did so there. It was a nice little back heel, you could say, there to get into that position, and that's why you use the likes of Hullet in that position, and also Zidane, because they can pull it into the back of the net, and they did there. I mean, all came from a mistake. Momentum seems like it's shifting towards them now as well.
That goal certainly would have given Guild a huge lift of confidence after only having one registered shot. It was saved by Van der Sar on target. But that's how deadly they are. After just getting one small sniff of possession, they've been able to equalise this game. And we have got a goal in the other game now. Which way has it gone? It looks to be a double for RB Leipzig, but who has got the goal? Is it Vejrgang with it? A couple of step-overs, of course it is. Mbappe makes it 2-0 for the German side. What a start they're having to Group B.
Yeah, you would say sort of signature style for Anders. You know, a few years ago that was what he used to do, is step-overs, and he's bringing it back into the new game, and it's working.
Perfect FIFA from Umut and Vejrgang. They're looking to have 2-0 results. They come into round 3, Lisa. They take on Team FUTWIZ. They could be on for 9 points from 9, and I think they go into a break after that, so they'd be buzzing with that.
Yeah, I think they would be buzzing. If you can win all your games before your break, it'll be buzzing.
Towards the back post. Head of the wipe. And of course, we can see you guys at home getting involved in the conversation. We have one question for you, me and Lisa. What do you think the score is going to be in this game? 62 minutes on the clock, 1-1 the scoreline so far in our featured game, Guild against Team FUTWIZ. I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say 2-2 in this one. Lisa, to put you on the spot, what are you saying?
I'm going to go 2-1. To be honest with you, not too sure the way it's going to go. I would potentially say FUTWIZ, but I mean, if they make a mistake like they did before, it could easily go towards Guild. But I'm going to go 2-1 FUTWIZ.
A few different results in there. 3-1s, 2-1s, some love for FUTWIZ, love for Guild. It's a 50-50 split in many ways. Let us know your prediction at home. Maybe we might have to pull someone's name out of the hat if they do get the prediction on point. Not another mistake from FUTWIZ. For a split second, I thought they were about to give away possession again.
Yeah, we did see a big sigh of relief on their faces there. Big deep breath in. You see a pause. It could be potentially there for FUTWIZ. You know, they're making silly mistakes at the moment. Take a quick breather, take a pause. Talk to Demon behind you. Obviously, a great addition to FUTWIZ.
Here is FUTWIZ now. They've got a lot of support in the chat. He's on 9 on a plate for Mbappe. And for everyone that said 2-1 in the chat, your prediction might just be in, because FUTWIZ are leading after nearly giving away possession with an awful piece of play. I don't know what happened there with Van der Sar to go down the other end to put it on a plate for Mbappe. That's the FIFA we know they can play. And they might be on their way to their first 3 points in their opening match here in Group B.
Yeah, and it was obviously quite a simple goal, sort of drilling it across the box, but it's a very effective way of scoring this year, and I've seen it quite a lot in my division rivals and in FUT Champs, and you always seem to concede them or score them, and I mean, it was a great play from them, and just doing the extra pass.
How big is that extra pass for those at home? Because everyone hears about it, knows about it in the pro scene. The extra pass, what does it do for even a casual FIFA player at home?
Yeah, I think it's really, really good, because it makes the chance that you have a 95% chance of scoring. You put it across the box. Normally it's an open goal because the goalkeeper's in no man's land and you're able to score, but sometimes if you don't go for it and then the goalkeeper saves it, you think, actually, maybe I should have gone for it. So try and put it into a game, because it will definitely give you a few more wins in champs.
Well, you saw it there for FUTWIZ. For Mbappe, it was a 99.9% chance of scoring. It was an open goal and an easy tap-in for that recent in-form Mbappe's not had a promo chance yet to really to jump up an extra step or two in rating, but I'll assure you it will come with performances. 80 minutes left. Cristiano Ronaldo is on the pitch for Team FUTWIZ now, alongside João Cancelo. Those are the two changes they've made, a defensive change and an attacking change.
Yeah, it seems like maybe they might go to potentially a fight with the back. Obviously, we saw a Cancelo, Torre, defensive player, potential left back, right back Cancelo. He can play in so many positions this year because of the position modifiers that they've added into the game, but potential chance.
This could be a gift. Watch R9, back post. He said the one more pass. Well read, Van der Sar. That could have easily been a way back in the game, and a gift for Guild. Van der Sar just read that one perfectly.
Yeah, that was a massive chance for Guild, but I mean, great goalkeeper movement. However, on the flip side, if Guild saw that, maybe they could have had an open goal to shoot, but they saw the extra pass, they moved the goalkeeper early enough, and that's the perks of being able to move your goalkeeper.
Cancelo. Mbappe now. This is dsaanchez controlling the inform Mbappe. He does get fortunate to win the ball back. NiKSNEB, great feet from the Iceman with Hullet. He had to be creative, but with that, did give away possession. Not for too long, though. Got the ball back. Patience with this move. Also patient defending from Team FUTWIZ to win the ball back, and maybe they could have a little look at a break. Virgil van Dijk, that's a big win, a very aggressive tackle from Nicholas. Here's Mbappe now. And again, really good defending from Ethan, who I think is just what his team a goal kick there with a pause with 6 minutes left. What do you think the mindset is of both of these two teams at this moment in time?
I know if I was in this situation, I know that I'm quite nervous because I'm in a winning position. However, to be honest with you, Guild are piling on the pressure. So I think in general, I think they're nervous. They might go to a defensive formation as well to see out the game. However, if you're playing well in that formation, sometimes you do stick. Could go drop back potentially, but I think with the way they're playing, they look like they're just going to keep it as it is.
We just heard a full-time result come in there. I'll get your reaction on it, at least. RB Leipzig, another 2-0 win. They've just replicated the same result, but this time against a team of Mkers that just won their last game. 6 points from 6 at the moment for Umut and Vejrgang. They are living up to the hype that a lot of people had for them coming into this tournament.
Yeah, I feel like coming into it, everyone predicted it, but it was about whether they could actually do it, and they've shown today so far. I mean, they haven't conceded yet, just shows how good they are defensively. However, they are scoring goals as well. And
as it stands, they will be playing against another team that has just won their first opening game. They will be playing Team FUTWIZ. If FUTWIZ win this game, there'll be a bit more of a story behind it. They'll be taking on RB Leipzig in round 3, straight up after this one. So stay tuned if you do want to see Vejrgang in action again alongside Umut. And then Blue United back in to the mix, taking on Mkers. There's not long left in this game, 6 minutes. Surely they'll get at least one more chance, Guild.
Yeah, they will do. I'm sure a little mistake will happen, and they've given away the ball straight from a goal kick there. Potential chance that can occur here.
What we're going to see. Cancelo through the legs of the defender. Chance, Neymar want to play. dsaanchez! We said they'd maybe get a chance. That's exactly what they've got. And just like that, we're all square at 2-2. One thing that this Guild side keep doing, Lee, so they might not score first all the time, but they keep on coming back. They've got this never say die attitude.
Yeah, they are very good at coming back, but we have to speak about probably potentially another mistake there from FUTWIZ. Obviously, they booted it up. I understand why they tried to do that. Obviously, they're strikers, tall strikers, maybe even put Hull up front to try and win a header, to keep the ball in their opponent's half. However, they lost it, and they was able to capitalise on it. And it seems like Sanchez is scoring quite a lot of goals for this duo right now.
I mean, I don't know what happened there. There was a pass. There was one slight pass. I'm sure we may see it again on a bit of an analysis later today that went through the legs of Cafu. The chance of that happening every day of the week is probably quite slim, but that just got the attack and the move into a position where danger could occur. And Guild may have just snatched 2 points away from Team FUTWIZ, or is there more late drama? Is there one more chance for NiKSNEB and Ethan? Or is it going to go the other way of Guild? This will be heartbreak. After FUTWIZ were leading on 2 different occasions, added time of 1 minute. As Guild looked to create the last chance to move it forward. A player lock teased there by Nicholas. Watch that run of Hullet. As Mbappe will get more bodies in the box. Surely not from Guild. Big tackle from Virgil van Dijk, and that will do us. You could argue, was it 2 points drop from FUTWIZ there?
Yeah, I definitely think it was. I think they was in control the whole game. Just lapse of concentration, 2 goals they actually conceded, to be honest with you. But a great game for the viewers watching. I mean, it was end to end.
And I hate to say it, but who predicted a 2-2?
I didn't. I mean, you did.
I did, luckily. Luckily I did. What did you predict again?
2-1. So I was close.
You were close. You were close. Nearly for FUTWIZ there. 2-2, the full-time result there. FUTWIZ looking to nearly, so nearly, get their first 3 points on the board. But bouncing back as they have, Guild, that's big for them, because if they were to lose their first 2 opening games here in Group B, in this difficult group, it wouldn't have looked pretty for them, would it? Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have looked pretty for them, but they was able to snatch a late goal there to equalise. In the last game, it was close as well. They was almost close to snatch it there as well. But, I mean, FUTWIZ will feel a little bit hard done by, to be honest. And on the flip side, as we've already mentioned, RB Leipzig, 6 points from 6. What a start. I mean, they could even drop points for the rest of the play today and they'd still look good, because right now, I think the highest point tally we've seen was from Team Focus, which got 10. Last week we saw Complexity get 8 points on the board. They're halfway to those stats. I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't go unbeaten tonight and then maybe do the first team to ever go and get 12 points from 12. Yeah, they're definitely looking very dominant. They haven't conceded yet as well. I think their potential chance of being the first to get 12 points. They could do. We'll have to wait and see, because we've got plenty more action to come here at the EA Sports Cup. But for now, let's head down to Carl Walker, who's joined by Team FUTWIZ.
Brandon, Lisa, thank you so much. Yes, I am joined by Team FUTWIZ, winning up until the final stages of the game. Just talking to you both off camera, especially you, NiKSNEB, I asked, good point taken or 2 points dropped? Your face says it all, really. You're not happy with that one, are you?
No, it's a tough one, to be fair. I think we played all right. Obviously, we didn't play first round. We sat and watched and then we came in second round, but I thought we started all right. It's just the end of the goal, the 2 points dropped. It's tough to take, but we can't look back at it. We've got to go in the next game.
You've definitely got to turn it around and go on to the next game. I can see your opponents looking over just now and studying every word, studying your body language, everything, Ethan. You have got RB Leipzig next. You've got to turn it around and make sure you don't make any of those mistakes again.
No, of course. That mistake's a little bit annoying, went through defenders' legs, but ultimately we didn't really play that one last 10 minutes, but it's fine. I'm looking forward to playing Leipzig now.
How do you remain positive from that? I can tell that result has affected you both quite a lot, but you have to turn it around here. We can draw. You've got a point. You've got to take that. It's points on the board for yourselves. It's a long old tournament, long old season, but you've got to turn it around very quickly.
Yeah, we're just going straight into that game, same way as we started that game, and we should be all right. Obviously, a few things to fix on, but I think we played well, so no bad words to say about the next game.
Right, we've got a very, very quickly, I just want to talk to you. Ryan Pessoa obviously works with us, professional player, plays for Manchester City as well. He mentioned that you two, in his opinion, are the best two competing in the tournament, working together. When he's played against you, he's found it so difficult. That's some great words from him and from a fellow professional as well. Are you going to show us this season that you are one of the best, if not the best, and go all the way?
We definitely hope so. I mean, we put a lot of practice in, a lot of hard work going into this 2v2 tournament, so we are looking forward to competing, and we really do want to back up and be the best here.
Well, we'll see what you can do. Thank you so much for joining us. You can go off and get ready for that next matchup. I'm looking forward to it. But Mike, Rachel, we heard from Team FUTWIZ, heartbreak in the last games, but that's what can happen when you're playing against Guild.
I feel Mike NiKSNEB there took it to heart. He was devastated with that, and Ethan said, didn't he, that the final 10 minutes, they kind of maybe just lost concentration a little bit. You cannot do that in one leg of FIFA.
I also don't think you can be too hard on yourself, and that's something we're already seeing from Guild here. How many late goals do you see in FIFA? They've been able to battle back into that, and they've got to be able to take that draw, not as a loss, and move on to the next matchup. I always say that as a pro, you need short-term memory. Whether it's going well or it's not going well at all, whatever it might be, it just helps you out a lot in the long run in these tournaments.
But it also probably shows what they expected from themselves, and that probably was to do with the fact they got that early goal as well, which you can talk to us a little bit about now, Mike, in the analysis presented by PlayStation Tournaments, that first goal from FUTWIZ.
And I love this opening goal from FUTWIZ as well. You can see a lot of build-up play, and they're just looking for any sort of space on the inside of the pitch. And you're going to see this as a constant reminder throughout these pro matchups, trying to pull some of the midfielders out of position. And on this last recycle and resurface, you're able to get a few midfielders simultaneously. They're going to play a little more passively. They're going to take away space inside the box. And then you have Rudholt right on that semicircle, steps into the semicircle, and kind of catches everyone off guard. It's the 10th minute here, and he takes a long shot, and he times it green across the body. They try to close on him, but it's not quite enough. And we see more and more of this at the pro level, where you have to shake it up a little bit. You got to give us something unexpected. And if players are going to sit back, that's fine. We still have that range.
Do you think they can shake it up enough to go now and defeat RB Leipzig, who have gone undefeated in their first 2 matchups?
Well, the big takeaway in that team in particular, they haven't conceded yet. So we don't even know how they're going to face adversity or lack thereof, but can you get a goal by them? Because that hasn't been the case in their first 2 matchups of the day. Well,
let's talk about that other game then. You know, RB Leipzig, like I just mentioned, now they've gone 2 games undefeated, not conceded either. And it was even more impressive that they obviously got that 2-0 victory over Mkers, who had just defeated Guild a little bit earlier on in the tournament. And this is how they did it.
Exactly, and you see some of the build-up across the body, Mbappe, a bit of a strange animation, but a lot of the game there is not only getting into the position, but is the goalkeeper moving? Are you able to have that quick hesitation? And you see more of the same here, that extra pass, making it look simple, beautiful step over, Mbappe across the body. 1 is good, 2 is better, and you're gonna see so many of those step overs from the pros because it gives you a burst of pace, but also allows you to shield the ball and change direction, so it's almost a triple threat.
Is it, Mike, too early on to say that people are already scared of RB Leipzig after them not conceding and scoring 4?
They were worried before we got started today. But it's got to be said that they definitely put out an early stamp of approval that they're not scared of these big moments and they're ready to play as a group. Because that's been the question. Can they team up together?
That's scary, though, mate. Don't do that.
Shoulder
I thought you
to
were coming
shoulder.
for me.
I'm sorry. We're getting physical here in the arena. My bad. My bad.
Ethan, though, he did sound pretty confident.
Definitely. If you've been training, you've been getting the results, you're saying, I just got to remake and replicate that in the pit, and they've looked good thus far. Like, I'm not here to knock them. A little disappointing maybe to have a draw instead of a win, but either way, you took the lead, and you always look the more likely. They just didn't close out the last 10 minutes.
This is the first round, and that was their first game, so a point is great. Let's have a little confirmation of that. RB Leipzig then 6 points, Mkers 3, Guild and FUTWIZ on 1, and Blue United 0. But remember, have only played 1. They're back in action next up, of course. Well, let's see who is next up then for you guys as well. So your big matchup is the one at the top. It's RB Leipzig Gaming taking on Team FUTWIZ. We've spoken that up a little bit already, and then we've got Blue United back in action against Mkers. But we want to talk about this big one. RB Leipzig against Team FUTWIZ. Can anybody defeat those guys there? Question, answer, quick.
Yes?
Yes?
No? Maybe? They can be beat. Anybody can be beat. What do you mean? You putting me on the fence. I'm on the fence right now. I'm ready to talk about the game.
Be decisive. Anyway, this is decisive. We have RB Leipzig Gaming taking on Team FUTWIZ. Can they make it 3 in a row without conceding and 3 in a row with that W? Or can these boys in green defeat the guys that we're all worried about? We'll find out after this short break.
I don't know that I got the memo. I didn't know we were wearing red. This would have been more fitting for last week, and it feels nice. If you're wondering if there's a texture to it, indeed there is. I'm just saying, I feel really conservative right now.
I mean, look, I was here last week in bed. I brought this as sort of maybe a Michael Jackson Thriller-esque potential performance.
I was thinking you might have a couple dance moves for us, a little moonwalk.
I was planning a flash dance in the pit, like halfway through the show, me and a few backing dancers. Didn't turn out to come to fruition in the end. This is the game that we're going to be featuring right here. Umut and Vejrgang for RB Leipzig Gaming up against Team FUTWIZ, Ethan and NiKSNEB. If you're wondering, well, how did FUTWIZ feel about getting Red Bull Leipzig in their draw? I can tell you how they felt. Pretty good about it. They like the challenge of this roster. They liked the challenge of Red Bull Leipzig. Just saw me turning up my volume. I wanted to hear what they thought. Mike LaBelle, would you like the challenge or would you prefer a slightly easier draw?
Give us the goodness. You're going to have to beat them at some point.
I'm saying you're
yeah,
playing.
I'm down. I've looked at all these groups. I said, where would I like to be? All of them have a bunch of difficult opponents. There's only the top 2 teams that come out anyways. So you're going to have to beat the best to come out of these group stages and really get yourself into that final bracket that's happening later on. We're talking January.
You sat on the fence with Rachel.
I wasn't ready. She asked me. I wasn't ready.
Okay, you ready now?
Now I'm more ready.
There's no fence sitting.
This is not going to be a clean sheet. We're going to have the first goals that Leipzig's going to concede here.
Okay.
But I still think that they're going to win the game.
How impressive was it that they've played 2, scored 4, conceded none?
That's what I'm trying to say. The conceding of none is really what stands out because we've seen a lot of goals already today. This has not been full of a bunch of clean sheets unless you're going up against RB Leipzig. And again, I think this is going to be a little more back and forth. They're going to disrupt them. There's going to be goals, but I got Leipzig winning. I'm going right off the fence, off the pedestal, off the banister, whatever it might be. I'm not sitting on anything.
The platform. He's not sitting on the platform. On the other side of it, Team FUTWIZ, they said 2 points dropped in that match against Guild as we see the countdown coming to its conclusion. Are you on the same page? 2 points dropped? I thought Guild played really well in that second half.
I feel that a draw is fair, but when you're sitting there, as we've added this new whistle, this new buzzer into
I'm still not used to it.
When you're competing and you got the last 5 minutes to see out a game, anytime you don't get the result and you're in the upper hand there, it's going to sit with you. And now playing back-to-back, I don't like being in that position. You've lost a little bit of that momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the game there that we just got glimpses of. That's Blue United up against Mkers. That match is underway currently. The game that we're just waiting to get started. The referee's whistle will get us underway between Umut and Vejrgang. Red icon is Umut, yellow Vejrgang. On the opposite side for Team FUTWIZ, the black and green army, they're underway. Ethan will be your darker blue with the lighter blue. It's going to be NiKSNEB.
And it might seem obvious. I think everyone will like the partnership at RB Leipzig. You're dealing with World Championship talent.
Yep.
Both players individually, but it's all a matter of being able to put it together.
Generational talent when you've got Vejrgang on the pitch as well. You thought that would be 1-0. They've scored in both games so far after 5 minutes. It's been like 4 minutes 50 and 5 minutes 15. I thought that might have been the opening in this game. As Team FUTWIZ come up the other end here. Arna Ronaldo in the control of NiKSNEB. He offloads to Ruud. Hollins on the finesse! Hello! Red Bull Leipzig are not perfect in this tournament.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. That is quite the opener, and you just don't see that goal. Finesse shot kind of from the middle of the pitch, shapes it, goalkeeper movement, non-existent, 6 minute, 1-0, and I said that there was going to be that goal. I called it early. I said it's not going to be a clean sheet game.
It took, what, 6 minutes, and the predictions paid in. Mike Labelle. And now, we have a very, very interesting question.
Wow.
How does the mental side of the game, where Anders Vejrgang has been questioned before, and this is where the frailties have lied, when you're up against it, can you still perform?
It's still early.
It's still early, but FUTWIZ are coming forward for a second here. They've got a real bit between their teeth after that disappointing draw against Guild. Pele inside the box, the opposed, he's going to rebound to R9 Ronaldo, poked in. FUTWIZ 2-0 up.
And you might be watching at home saying, that doesn't strike me as such a special goal. They caught the goalkeeper movement. They aim on the near post. It's a little bit driven. It comes off the post. They maybe get a fortunate bounce afterward, but they're aiming near post because they're expecting, they're anticipating. They're reading that that goalkeeper is going to scoot and boot just a little bit further to the middle of the goal, and that puts that offset. That allows that to be possible. And now you see the pause. You talked about the emotion. You see the reaction, conceding 2 goals early. And this is where can Umut and Vejrgang work together in order to push through this, because we know Umut is certifiable.
We know
we're talking about the mental side. Can't knock him. I've seen this guy do it all. That would be the one question mark. You brought it up. We'll continue the narrative. We can talk about it.
Oh, the narrative's been painted. Don't worry about that. I got the easel out earlier on today. However, RB Leipzig looked to come forward with Kylian Mbappe just caught offside right there. And do you know what? There's almost... I've got the Twitch chat in front of me right now. A lot of people want to see, they're almost, for some reason, the villains, people want to see RB Leipzig lose. And I'm seeing a lot of FUTWIZ support, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying, this is where we see the real story unfold for RB Leipzig. Can they come back from defeat?
2 different reasons. Are you ready?
Hit me.
For the FUTWIZ side, you like to see a little bit of a rebuttal. Maybe you feel hard done, you gave up a goal, it was late. was pretty solid from Guild as well, so you want to see them respond. They've done that. They've sent that message. And then also on the other end, and I'm guilty of this, when I watch Twitch streams and I know somebody might be getting mad, might be getting emotional, there could be some anger, sometimes I cheer for the opposition just because I want to see that reaction.
I joined the Mike LaBelle stream and support every single person you're against on Foot Champs.
That's what I'm saying. My streams they coexist with that, that same situation. But I'm not better than that. Sometimes I want to see if you're going to battle back.
Sometimes you want to see
if a controller could get broken, I'll watch. I'm definitely tuning in.
Well, here we go. It looks like FUTWIZ coming forward for 3 here. Mbappe laying it into Ronaldo. NiKSNEB with R9. Little Ronaldo chop looking to create the space, but Lucio does well through the hands of Anders Vejrgang.
Maybe doing slightly too much in the box there. He had a lot of space to work with. Maybe didn't need that extra chop if you could have it back.
RB Leipzig streaming forward. Theo Hernandez inside the box. The goalkeeper movement was there. A little bit of shift from Ethan. However, good defending, just getting bodies on the line to force it out for a corner kick. It's a short one. And the white shirts potentially come forward here. Pele, couple of step overs. Umut just runs into Team FUTWIZ.
Fantastic defending there from Zidane, kind of steps into that spot. And that's going to be one of those players you might say, well, it's Zidane, but he wasn't always in every rotation in the competitive scene. This year, he's been a must-have. You could argue he's the best midfielder in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. R9 comes forward here. Step overs inside the box, looking for the cutback. That's all NiKSNEB. He's a genius inside the box, a little wizard. He's a young Merlin, you could say.
And he's casting spells. That was gorgeous. Even from here, we're sitting here watching. We're not in the game, and we're not sure what's coming next, whether it's the turns, the scooting, the booting, the razzle, the dazzle, all the extracurriculars.
As we jump over to the other matchup here, it's Mkers up against Blue United. Slightly scrappy inside the box. David Ginola will not care one bit. And that is Mkers with a 1-goal lead against Blue United. Early pause queued for one of these two sides. You would imagine it is RB Leipzig, who are not happy with what they're seeing so far. 2-0 down inside the opening 30 minutes after they just won their previous 2 matches 2-0.
And if you're Leipzig here, you have to be careful. It's still relatively early, and maybe most importantly, you name it. It's all these little games of 50-50s, but either way, they're in the right places at the right times, and we know that they have a world-class coaching staff. Leipzig develops talent.
No, they certainly do, and I was actually down there in the pits, sort of watching the matchup between Guild and FUTWIZ, and RB Leipzig came across. I saw the notepad coming out, and I said, are you taking a few notes? The answer? No, I already know everything I need to know about Team FUTWIZ. Clearly, you might have missed a bit of information because you're 2-0 down.
Well, there's more research than ever before because of all the live streams, the social media, the repurposing of content, the live events. If you're going to sit there and really digest everything that's happening, and a good coach will, the best coaches do, they know tendencies.
As we see a substitution there, Patrick Vieira brought off. It's an attacking change. Jairzinho enters the pitch. Step overs from Vejrgang. Cannot shrug off that Team FUTWIZ defense of Ruud Gullit.
And the reason that you're seeing that happen is because these are single games. They're going early.
Chance for Team FUTWIZ on Ronaldo with Ethan. Travella past the goalkeeper. 3-0. Another hit from Denman, the manager in between them. They are cruising at the moment. Who would have thought that?
Talk about sending a message. I might have to issue an early apology. I expected Leipzig to be able to get the job done, but 3 goals here. Again, single leg affair. This is under a different system in terms of the point allocation. There's only so much time left. You've already made a couple attacking changes. If you're RB Leipzig, to make this interesting, you almost need a goal by half.
And the question that I'm going to now bring up, do you consolidate if you're RB Leipzig? You don't want to lose this game 7-8-0 because then mentally you're absolutely distraught. You are defeated before you even play your remaining fixture.
And thus far, and I'm not trying to wish any negativity on any team or do any early foreshadowing, but everyone has beat the Blue United. And I say that because that's one of your wins, but if everybody continues down that same path, you're not really having that significant of a gap that you're being created in terms of the point tally.
Chance here for RB Leipzig. R9 into Ronaldo Nazario. Good chance. Unfortunately, I just said R9 to Ronaldo Nazario. It's the same man.
It's like that. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. We've seen a lot of self-passes throughout the FIFA scene over the competitive years.
Assist to yourself, why not?
There were some moments with the bridge dribble where there was a lot of passing to yourself. R9 to R9 was a real 1-2.
And speaking of R9, he's in here for Team FUTWIZ to make it 4-0.
Oh, it's open.
Mbappe!
Oh.
4-0 Team FUTWIZ. They are running away with this tie.
This is brilliant football. The counterattacks, the spacing, the decisiveness. You got the extra pass, you got the dribbling, you saw the ball roll into the scoop turn. If you don't have that in your arsenal, please add it as soon as possible. I don't care if you're a beginner, an intermediate, an advanced player. It always works, and it gives you just a little more spacing. You can resurface, you can find that extra angle. Wow.
I'll be honest, I'm flabbergasted. I truly am, and I can tell you that there's some possession that's been taking place. There's some shots.
Look, there's 4 shots, 4 goals. I see that.
Yeah,
XG. 65% something's going on.
1.9 XG to a 4-goal swing. At the bottom, there's been 1 offside so far, and that's gone for RB Leipzig. Unfortunately, the rest of the stats you can try and work out yourself. The screen there of Vejrgang, the Dane, the great Dane, the young Dane.
I never thought I'd see this or say this or be a witness to a 4-0 at half with Umut taking part, who's always kind of been known, especially early on in his career, as a defensive player. And you can see the astonishment on their faces. And then when you're looking at Vejrgang, you're always used to him scoring goals for fun. He's the guy that runs it up, forces a bunch of rage quits when we're talking about even pro versus pro.
Yep.
There's been some pretty disrespectful moments if you're following his online career. He can make you look bad.
And it truly is a mind-blowing affair right now. 60 minutes underway between Mkers and Blue United, and that narrative that you are painting, Mike Lobel, of everyone beating Blue United, unfortunately will continue with Mkers 2-0 up with 30 minutes left to play.
And just to be clear, I'm not saying it's a free win, but just how results have been going.
You then have to win that game when you play against Blue United.
I'm just someone who has the skill of observation, and I'm acknowledging that people are getting wins in that matchup.
And you are a great observer, I have to say. Very keen bird watcher, if you didn't know Mike Lobel.
When I saw you in that red top,
it's hard to miss.
It was going to be something special.
It's hard to miss. Chance here for RB Leipzig. Great time, great save from Edwin van der Sar. Vejrgang looking to fire RB Leipzig back into this game. However, van der Sar's got other ideas. And this could potentially, you saw that ball over the top starting to take shape. Lucio stepped in well. That's across the box, and this could be Mbappe bearing down on goal through Umut. 4-1. Are we about to see the greatest comeback that I've ever seen with my eyes?
Something that's always been consistent when we share this booth.
It's special.
Stage. Goals happen.
Yeah.
We don't see clean sheets.
If you can't see, Mike Lobel's very, very close to me right now as well. He's getting intimate.
I'm touching you while we're talking right now. I'm just saying. We've seen this week in and week out. We've been here a few weeks together. This always happens. I don't think this is anywhere near done. Whether it's going to be more offense from FUTWIZ, which I'm happy to watch, or we do have the build of maybe a little bit of pressure with that comeback being forged.
Well, I've just seen in the Twitch chat, I've got my eyes on it right now, there's talks of a comeback. There's talks of something historic happening. That's an awful mistake at the back end. Mbappe nods it in for Blue United. 2-1. Are Blue United about to do something that potentially we weren't even thinking about, and then picking up points and potentially snatching points away from
disrupting
Mkers.
the group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Causing problems, putting themselves on the board. And also, I should note, no clean sheets in both matchups. We love to see it.
There's so much time left in this game for something outrageous to happen, whether that's a further few goals for Team FUTWIZ or the comeback of the century for RB Leipzig.
And you can see Leipzig's changed the tempo of this game completely. Whether it's going to be more goals again for FUTWIZ or a comeback potentially lurking, the speed of the game is different.
It's intensified. Maldini just about does enough with Ronaldo on his back. He'll take the free kick if he needs to, but he's happy to play out, and that's an awful mistake. The referee doesn't want the advantage. He's been saved. He's been saved by the man in red, and I'm not talking about myself.
That was super fortunate because I thought the play was done. You had the play on. It's a bad error out of the back, a little bit rushed.
And this could be RB Leipzig trying to get forward, trying to urge and will that ball across the box. Great feet, though. Just a simple ball roll opens up the entire pitch from NiKSNEB, and it could potentially be the 5th for Team FUTWIZ, not on this occasion.
And you got to get the second goal by the 70th minute. I think that's kind of the measuring point here. Mbappe into space.
This could be it. Mbappe fouls it into Horud Hullet. The second bounce is going to fall for RB Leipzig as R9 on the volley. A smile comes across the face of Vejrgang. He knows they're on the precipice of potentially doing something magnificent.
That's a terrifying smile.
Oh, it really is.
You don't want to stand in front of that. You don't want to sit next to it. You don't want to be near that smile. That's that hope. I can smell it. There's an essence in the air.
What's it smell like?
Flowers.
Tulips. RB Leipzig coming forward again. On the Trivella! Van der Sar tips it over the crossbar.
This is nervy times here as well. If you're FUTWIZ, you start to think about the game you just threw away.
Absolutely.
You're up 4-0. You cannot leave this without a win.
Zidane into the path of, I think that was Jarzinho getting involved from the corner. You look at the mini-map, there's not a lot going forward, but Cristiano Ronaldo has the pace and strength to drive away from those defenders.
Oh.
Applauding that, Mike.
Smart game management. Pretty creative with a couple of the little dragbacks and just trying to control the game. They've lost the control. That's what's happened here. And that's why it's not only is it back and forth, but it feels as if we've seen this momentum shift and it's now in favor of RB Leipzig.
Even though they're 4-2 down.
Even though they're down a couple goals, you can just feel that there's more happening here. Like I said, there's a certain atmosphere change. Even here, seems relatively quiet. There's not a lot of noise. I don't know if that's tension, but I feel something has shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw those goals going in. It was almost a calm from Team FUTWIZ. 4-2 the scoreline. RB Leipzig trailing, however, seemingly in the ascendancy.
They need one more.
Ball down the line for CR7. Couple of step overs, opening up the pitch. Mbappe made the running behind, still Ronaldo, he now finds him!
Wow.
Driving in to the near post and potentially driving in to the hot seat in this game. 1-goal game.
Rich, that's phenomenal.
Oh.
The step overs, the change of direction, the extra pass. They're just teasing this. They're setting us up for something great. Spectacular.
And we talked about the mental state of RB Leipzig. What about Team FUTWIZ? You're 4-0 up, it's now 4-3. You can see the game slipping out of your hands. You have to score the next goal. And this looks like what they're going to do here. Little heel-to-heel inside the box. Good block from Maldini, and the ball will fall to Leipzig.
You're seeing that inclusion of the new heel-to-ball roll.
Yep.
I personally love that skill. Just gives you a little bit of a different animation. Kind of reminds me of the La Croqueta a couple years ago, where you can spam it maybe once, maybe twice, and you're just able to, again, re-angle players.
The ball being thrown back to Team FUTWIZ as they look to come forward. There's that internal debate now of, do we try and get a 5th goal? Do we try and keep possession? What's the game plan moving forward? We know the game plan for RB Leipzig. Attack, attack, attack. Ronaldo getting down the byline. Ball roll, scoop turn. Green time Trivella.
Wow.
I should say red time Trivella. That was blocked. Couple of step overs from Vejrgang. He runs into trouble. FUTWIZ yet again come forward. Bodies urging into the final third. Step overs from Vejrgang. Again, it's just a good block at the back and a timely defensive tackle. What a game. What a game.
I'm feeling the nerves.
It's not over yet. That ball trying forced out wide. Roberto Carlos in the way. And with 3 minutes left on the clock, Team FUTWIZ come forward a little bit wasteful in all honesty.
You had so much space to work with.
And now it's Leipzig looking to do something historic after being 4-0 down on the Trivella! 4-0 to 4-4!
I don't know what's being said in that pop-off, but I don't think it's going to go well with FUTWIZ. And this got to hurt your heart a little bit. Typically in the pro scene, we say 3 goals and you've done enough. You have that spread. You have that lead. Twitch, talk to us a little bit. Are they going for a 5th? Do we have 1 more goal in this game?
I don't know if I can take another goal.
4 goals in 1 half and then 4 goals to get in another half.
I don't know if I can take another goal.
The tale of 2 halves. I know it's a cliche, but come on. When do you see this in competitive FIFA?
What a second half. performance. What a first half performance from FUTWIZ. Let's not forget about that.
These
the 4-0 up.
Two best half performances that we're probably ever going to see throughout this tournament.
What
they were
a
perfect
game.
in the first half, FUTWIZ. 4 shots, 4 attempts, 4 goals. Efficiency personified. We were already writing off Leipzig. Then they get together, they regroup, early substitutions made, Jarzinho on the pitch, step overs for everybody. Your brother, your sister, your mother, your cousin, your father, your uncle, everybody getting a step over.
Just talk to me, because we were in hysteria when that 4th goal went in.
Oh my goodness.
Talk me through it very quickly. The step over and then the green time Travella. The composure to green time it as well.
What you expect? Do we have one more chance in this? Why not?
Someone
Someone go for a 5th. I need a winner.
So FUTWIZ getting us underway from kickoff. Do we get another goal, or will we be a level pegging game? Just offside. The referee blows us up. Round of applause from everyone in the arena. What a game we just witnessed.
Describe that, chat. Describe that in one word. We'll pull up the chat. We got it in front of us. See who can pull up maybe the best backstory here. That was so special. That was unique. I'm going to use a few words. One of a kind. You just don't see that happen. We've been commentating and talking about competitive FIFA for how many years now, Rich?
What?
6, 7 years?
Yeah, you've been involved like 15. And I don't think we've ever seen a game like that. At halftime, they scored that first goal. We said, what if they do something? That's just us being commentators. We're not actually expecting.
We're talking about the team talk after the game. We're saying how are they going to consolidate right now? How are they going to discuss this? Where are they going to go from here? They're going to go to the goal constantly. I wonder what the halftime team talk must have been. Step over on step over on step over. Whatever you do, step over.
I want to talk to you about the implications of that game very quickly. For RB Leipzig, you have just done something historic, 4-0 to 4-4. On the other side of it, what about Team FUTWIZ? How did they try and bounce back from this? Let's have a look at that 4th goal, the equalising goal, because it is something historic. Mike, talk me through this goal to make it 4-4.
It's beautiful. Mbappe, you see him looking for the 1-2s. Zidane that we just constantly see used. Step over to attack the space, gets that little bit of burst, the ultimate pop-off outside of the boot. Travella, green time finish. I don't know what he has to say, but it's a whole lot of something.
What a game, and where else better to go right now than our very own Kyle Walker, who's getting the live reaction from the pit. Kyle, what is being said?
Richard and Mike, wow, what a game that was. I'm joined by Umut, who was in the middle of it, and another man that was just behind him, Ferminator, the coach. How do you, I'm coming to you first, how do you keep your cool when it's not you with your hands on the controllers? You can't get involved, you can give them words of advice, but ultimately it's up to the players.
Yeah, I mean, it's my job to have an eye on the mental part. I know that, yeah, Anders is a young guy. Umut is a guy who is, especially when he is behind, sometimes with a few emotions. And yeah, so it's my job to keep them down, calm down, and yeah, just focus on the game. And I think they did very well in the second half.
I think they definitely did. And one man that was, as I said, right in the middle of it, Umut, I mean, you've got plenty of experience. You know how to come back. You know how to control your own emotions. Different working with a new partner maybe this season as well. But did you believe that when you were so far behind, did you know you could pull it back? Or did that belief come after 1, 2, 3 goals?
Yeah, I believe in us because constant pressure is really good this year. So you can see this year you should never give up, and you always keep going. And like, for example, in the last years, I would think, okay, this game is over. But this year, just because of constant pressure, it's so good. It's so hard to get out of constant pressure. So I knew, okay, we can manage to get a draw here. But of course, it's really hard. But we did it.
Everyone's talking about Anders and Umut, and everyone's talking about what they could possibly go on to do, possibly go on to win the tournament as well. How are you controlling those emotions and not maybe letting them get too high, but giving them confidence that they can go on to do that, especially for Anders? He's laughing just in the corner of our eye, but he's done amazing online, but being here at LAN, it's very different.
Yeah, I mean, we are very confident. I mean, Umut is the world champion. And Anders, obviously, maybe the biggest talent in the world. So maybe so we know we are maybe the best 2 players in the world, and yeah, so we are confident in every game and we want to win every game, so we hate to lose.
Well, I'm sure in the next games coming up, you won't want to do it the way you just did. You want to do it the easy way. So maybe next time we'll see you 4-0 up at half-time, not 4-0 down. And you don't have to come back, but we'll see about that one. I'm looking forward to it. Everyone is absolutely buzzing here in the pit after that game. Brandon and Rachel, how are you guys feeling?
Well, I think we're a bit exhausted, like they probably feel after being down 4-0 in the first half. I don't even mean the first leg. It's only one leg of FIFA. 4-0 in the first leg, then to bounce back and bring it back to 4-all. The boys are just saying there, constant pressure was key, but on the contrary, how do you counter constant pressure if it works so well?
I think in that moment, I mean, we're sitting there in the back room watching it and we're thinking 4-0 in one leg, one game of FIFA, you're thinking that's done. You know, RB Leipzig started so well, okay, maybe it's their time to just slow down. And then they scored again and again. And when you're in that game, you can't explain that feeling, but it's just like the tide has turned and it's just this constant pressure coming at you. We said they're special. The man who scored the 4th goal is very special. And there's Vejrgang, take a bow, magical.
And I was saying actually to Mike a little bit earlier, I said, do you think everyone's worried about playing RB Leipzig? And I said, actually, Ethan didn't seem worried before he played them. He kind of said, you know what, we'll have to see what we do. That proved there that actually they're not worried. And like I think it was Ryan Pessoa said, he's excited to see what FUTWIZ can do this year. And if they can do that, okay, they capitulate a little bit in the last kind of half of that game, but they may be on something good this year.
No, I agree, and I think that the key thing in that game, when you're playing against a big team, Rachel, you have to take the game to them and you have to do exactly what FUTWIZ did. Score goals early, because we saw that from Focus a few weeks ago. When they scored goals early and when they dominated like a game, it became too much of a gap to climb back. And I think anyone sits there at half-time and says 4-0 down, no one's coming back. But fair play to Daniel, who sits behind those 2 players, and he's just pulled out a masterclass there, and so have those players.
Another point, of course, for FUTWIZ, and they're playing Mkers in a short while. Let's bring you up to speed then on that Mkers Blue United game as well. Mkers then obviously wanted to get the 3 points, and they did just that, Brandon, but Blue United got a goal.
Yeah, they did. I mean, you know, Blue United have had a rocky start here, and you see it in this game as well, as they go 1-0 down early, Mkers scoring that first goal. But there was a second following that shortly after. I thought it was going to be 1-1. It did go 2-0. Lovely ball over the top. The one more pass we always speak about. It makes all the important difference there. Mkers 2-0 up, 29 minutes left on the clock. But you're right, Blue did get a goal back, but unfortunately that 1 goal wasn't enough. They are still without a point here at the EA Sports Cup.
But I guess it's important when they got the goal as well. They were 2-0 down to kind of get back into that matchup as well just after half-time. It shows them they weren't giving up. They were still in the mindset of trying, weren't they? And this was obviously the overall score there. 2-1 Mkers over Blue, and then just 4-all FUTWIZ and RB Leipzig.
And these next 2 games they've got, Rachel, are massive. They take on Guild in round 4, as we said, and then in round 5 they take on FUTWIZ. They can't do what SBQR did last week, and that is leave London and go back to Asia without picking up a single point, because SBQR did that, and yes, you could create all the storylines for them to come back into it, but it's just going to be too much of a mission. That is how the table stands at this moment in time.
Yeah, RB Leipzig, and we thought they might have gone undefeated. They have obviously gone undefeated, but we thought they might have got the 3 points in that one. They got that single point to make it 7, Mkers 6, FUTWIZ 2, Guild 1, and as Brandon just said, Blue United's at the bottom of the table as it stands. Up next, and I just alluded to it, this is a big game. They're all big games. Mkers, Team FUTWIZ, that is the one we're going to be featuring all our attention on. And then on the other side, we have Guild taking on Blue United. That, again, is a massive game for the boys in blue. This one, though, is going to be your main matchup after the break. OpTolle and Oliboli taking on Ethan and NiKSNEB. Those guys will be wanting 3 points. All they've managed right now is a draw. Can they do it? We'll find out shortly. My voice is just crap.
The EA Sports Cup is presented by PlayStation Tournaments.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't know about you watching that. You probably saw the energy in the room shift a little bit. My energy is pushing. That was crazy. What do you make of everything that's happened this far up to this point? I always say that round 4 is kind of the decider for the day for most of these teams.
I mean, I'm hyped, to be honest with you. We just saw, I mean, to be honest with you, we didn't really expect FUTWIZ to be 4-0 up in the first place. And then for Leipzig to come back 4-4, I mean, what a game.
We haven't seen a better half-to-half performance this far in competitive FIFA from either side. So it's almost unbelievable to see such a brilliant performance from FUTWIZ and then an absolute heroic performance from Leipzig. And you saw the pop-off at the end. It was incredible. And there's so many fantastic goals and decisions and just build-up plays. Review that game, keep it on replay, but we're going to be moving forward. We got more FUTWIZ in action now, taking on against Mkers.
Yeah, we do. I think it's going to be a good game. I think, to be honest with you, Mkers, they're on 6 points, I'm pretty sure. I think Ethan and NiKSNEB, they need to get some points on board. I know they've got 2 points, but they need to get a win, don't they?
Super painful draws for Ethan and NiKSNEB. And then OpTolle and Oliboli, the 2 Swedes, of course, representing the Swedish national team, and then teamed up with Mkers, so it's a bit of a repeat there. These guys have so much experience together. Actually, both these collectives going into this match. But again, I got to say, like, this kind of makes your day. And if you're Ethan and NiKSNEB, you have to get a win. You need something on the board.
Yeah, you do. Obviously, they're both great teams. They've both been playing with each other for a while. Obviously, Mkers, Swedish national team, they ended up doing really, really well in E-Club World Cup, and they've done so well in other tournaments. So I think it's going to be a tough game.
They're on the brink. I got to say, when you're looking at Mkers, I feel like they have the ability to win something major. And they've had a couple chances to kind of make that happen, but it hasn't quite came together where they've got themselves into winning a final. Even though they've been kind of knocking on the door, you see the fist bumps being shared, and you've got OpTolle, the creator, and then you have Oliboli, who's kind of known for some of the structure and just keeping everything together on the defensive end.
Yeah, exactly. I think going forward, they're very, very good, but defensively as well, they're even better. I mean, you can see here the ice in the veins, you could say. You know, they was a couple of goals down, I'm pretty sure, in the penalty shootout, and they came back to win, and you can see what it meant to Borash, you can see what it meant to the team, and I mean, a semi-final spot in there was really, really good for them.
You have to love that. I don't know if I've ever seen Ivan Lepanya with more energy, and I've been a part of his complete illustrious career as a competitive player, and now coach, of course, of Sweden. You see the clock. It's been queued. We have 10 seconds to get into this matchup, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's 2 teams that need a result, and they both played well, I should say, but FUTWIZ hasn't been able to close out a game. That might be an understatement of the year. And then Mkers could use a little bit of added helping to really walk away going into round 5.
Yeah, I feel like it's composure for Team FUTWIZ. You know, we've seen them in winning positions in the last 2 games, 4-0 in one of them, 2-1 in the other, and unfortunately they conceded very late on in the game. I think they've got to try and maybe keep the ball a little bit more. You know, viewers don't like to see it, but in these type of tournaments, 250,000 on the line, you need to keep it.
Well, what happened was you basically got, it didn't adjust maybe from even the coaching side. It's got to be brought up. Because when you have a lead like that, there has to be some tactical adjustments made, especially when you could tell that the momentum, the shift of the speed of the game, the tempo, everything was now favoring Leipzig, but you had so many goals to your advantage. It's just a matter of kind of regrouping, revamping, having that team talk, as you see an early pause queued. And the other matchup that we have going on as well, as you can see behind us, there is Guild going up against Blue. And up to this point, I don't want to say, again, it's not a free win, but everyone's beat Blue United. Therefore, that kind of has to continue. Otherwise, you're really dropping major points.
Yeah, I do think in this game, FUTWIZ do need to win, but also against Blue, they also need to win because, like you mentioned, maybe potentially a free win, but they have had a 2-0 and a 2-1 loss. Very, very close game. I mean, I don't think we're going to see another high-scoring game like we did earlier. Normally, you see around 1, 2, 3 goals.
Beautiful knockdown there. R9 steps into space, off the bar, and in. You see Van der Sar, hands in his head. And you see how the players react, how they're feeling together. They know it's still early doors, a lot to talk about, but an early goal, which has been a theme of today, I'm here for it because it shifts the dynamic immediately. And it's got to be said, if you're FUTWIZ, usually they've been scoring that early goal, and now you're down early on, you're facing adversity, you haven't really seen out these games, and it's really going to show your mental stability, your mental strength.
Yeah, I feel like the confidence is going to be at its probably all-time low for FUTWIZ, especially the results they've had, but they've got to try and get the next goal in this game or it's not going to be looking too good for them. And Mkers playing really, really well at the moment going forward.
It's just 2 draws that actually feel like losses because of those points being dropped, but a lot of space to work with here. R9, overlapping realm. Oh, what a pass from Pele. And there you have your equalizer. If anything, you could say offensively, they have been very creative in the final third. You've had variation between shot selection, long shots, some of the ins, the outs, the versatility with the different types of goals that they've been able to create constantly. And we love to see this from a neutral again. 1-1. It's the first 10 minutes of the game. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really good game. Again, I think it's going to be high scoring. I mean, well, we saw 8 in the last one. I think we're probably going to at least see 4 in this one. Going forward, these teams are really, really good, and they're cancelling out each other at the moment. And we talk about an easy goal, a pass across the box. I mean, talk to me how important that is this year to do.
It's all about keeping your opponent guessing. And that's going to be a constant at the competitive scene when you're looking at guys that want to either generate some of those cancellations, some of those extra skills, the extra pass, some of those long shots. It's just all about implementing a way to get into the final third. As you see a lob attempt there, not quite able to lock onto R9.
Yeah, exactly. It's about switching things up and being unpredictable, and that's why these two teams are very good at what they do. It's kind of hard to work out what they're going to do. Are they going to go for a Trivela? Are they going to go for a pass across the box? And, I mean, it's a very, very good game so far. Maybe chat, let us know who you think's going to win this game. I mean, Mike, so far?
I'm happy to have score predictions from the chat if you want to bring that into the discussion. As you see a switch of the pitch here. Mkers looking to get out of the back. It's much more difficult this year as well. Just with some of the pressure play and the team pressing, you're able to really and truly double team. You see those step overs, Zidane, a lot of space. Can Zambrata take advantage of that space? A couple fake shots, probably gonna have a recycle and a resurface. More of the same. Here we go, inside, Ginola, step over, cross the body, Van der Sar reaction save.
And what a save that was there. I mean, he was able to get to it. That's why you have Van der Sar in goal. His reactions are very, very good. One of probably the best icons you can use in the game. And a great block there, and our foot was able to build off that chance.
You see constant attempts with trying to line up that Trivela. It's just a new animation this year that you can trigger, and it's so overpowered to the success. And you've been playing a bunch of weekend league. Lisa, walk us through what has kind of been your go-to from the corner kicks. Are you taking them short? Are you lobbing them in? Set pieces make such a big difference when you're looking at those fine margins.
Yeah, exactly. I think from corners, sometimes I like to play short, but majority of the time I do whip it into the box. There's a new meta of whipping it into the box, 3 bars outside the foot, and just whip it in. And majority of the time, if you have a tall, lengthy player, Haaland, for example, Ronaldo, for example, it's going to go in the back of the net.
Are there any player selections that kind of surprise you? Because when you're looking at the pros, they're always looking at new ways to implement the best available because you have complete teams. You name it, and you can create it, or you can replicate it. Yeah,
I think earlier, Guild ended up using Perisic, which is a very interesting choice to use when you have the likes of Hullet, Vieira, Zidane. There's so many players you can use, especially on an unlocked account, but to use an out-of-position Perisic, it's very, very interesting, but he's a very, very OP player this year, defensively in that CDM role, but also to unleash the Trivelas.
Ruud Hullet, extra pass, beautiful pick out there, R9 in the middle of the pitch, can't do anything but convert. And you see another one of those quick exchanges with the fist nod and the go-ahead as well for Mkers. And again, every time you concede a goal now, if you're FUTWIZ, you start to feel a little more pressure. Maybe you're not as aligned as you thought you were. Are you rushing your gameplay? I was just going to say for the last 15, 20 minutes, it's been a little sloppier in the midfield. Really haven't seen the same composure from either club or either side.
Yeah, I think, you know, they're attacking very, very quickly, and I think that's what cost them against Leipzig. I think they was going forward too much, even though they was 4-0 up in this game. Obviously, they're 2-1 down now, but I think they've got to slow it down a little bit and try and do them 1-2 passes, the triangles, because at the moment, that is what Mkers is doing.
A beautiful McGeady cancel there. Ruud Hullet, entry pass. Jarzinho, still highly recommend him. Extra pass made to Mbappe, maybe taken just slightly early inside the box. Maybe they need that additional skill or even one extra pass, shall we say. As we have an opening, or an opener goal here with Blue United and Guild. A lot of space to work with. Mbappe across the body. We're well familiar with how that looks, but it might be a surprise. That goal was scored by Blue, not Guild. And again, that would be a massive drop in points.
Yeah, it would do. We've come back saying that they've lost 2 games already, and against Guild, a very, very good side in Nicholas and dsaanchez. I mean, if they end up losing, it's not going to look good in terms of the table, but it might help FUTWIZ because of the points they're dropping at the moment.
Well, what we're looking for, and I always bring this up again, when you get to round 4, you often start to see some separation, and it's a decider on, has your day had those details? And I always talk about details in competitive FIFA because the margins are so slim. We got space to work here with from Cafu, attacking the end line. A little bit of a sloppy touch, and now it's a matter if Maldini can get it out. A bit of a risky lob, but Zidane climbs that ladder and is able to overtake versus Jarzinho. Zambrata. Can he find the split? Goes for a cross. What a pick out that is off the bounce. Not quite for Mbappe. Tries to chest it down. I understand what he was going for. Wasn't quite able to gather. And that's huge for FUTWIZ to not concede there, especially going into half.
Yeah, exactly. If they concede there, I mean, you would say it's game, set, match potentially, especially in a one-leg affair.
Not with what we've been seeing today.
I mean,
yeah, not today.
Not in that last game. I mean, 4-0 up and ended up obviously going 4-4. But I think that was well worked, to be honest with you. Obviously, he stopped for a while and you think, what is he doing? Then he whips it into the box. That pass that probably most people wouldn't pick out, but quite fortunate to get back there, FUTWIZ, to defend that. But potential chance.
Oof. That should take us into halftime here. One additional clearance. Oh, we do have a corner kick to close out. This could be huge for FUTWIZ. They take it short. Jarzinho, a couple step overs. Pele whips it across. Can you take it down? Does indeed. It's blocked from R9. And surely that's gonna take us into the halftime approaching. And of course it does. And now you're gonna sit down with your coach and kind of discuss what you want to shift, what do you want to change. And if you're FUTWIZ, you need to have a little bit more of a balanced approach, I feel like, in that game, when we're really sitting here and reviewing. And of course, we're going to dissect, we're going to be very critical. They had moments that looked like themselves and other ones where they seemed a little bit rushed. And then if you're Mkers here, you're saying maybe we should have had a third. You can look at the stats, slight possession advantage for Mkers, but everything else is relatively even. It just comes down to who's going to be a little more clinical.
Yeah, I think the fine chances as well, taking your chances and not making silly mistakes that we saw them do in the first game that they played FUTWIZ. But I think Mkers, they played really well in this game. They've obviously had more shots as well, more passes. Oh, sorry, less passes. But I mean, in sort of passes phase of the game, it doesn't really matter too much. It's more about the shots on target. But I mean, it's really, really close game.
Well, and I've heard, production is telling me, or I saw somebody stand up, I think we've had another goal in the other matchup. We've got Guild, of course, going up against Blue. Blue United up 1-0 in this matchup. You see R9 working, a bunch of these step overs. Rude hold it, extra pass to Mbappe. Beautiful usage right there of the Elastico, and it's game on.
Yeah, game on in that game. Obviously 1-1, a great use of the Elastico. The 5-star skill move there, obviously, with Mbappe, and got him into great space and a great finish.
You see an overlapping run. Jarzinho, extra pass made. Ronaldo, what you got for us? Woo-hoo-hoo! That is some creativity. That is some confidence. You see the step over 1, step over 2. 5-star, weak foot, top corner, the best corner. I love to see it. You love to see it. We love to see it. These are not low-scoring affairs.
I mean, I'm loving it right now, especially watching the game, and obviously you guys at home. I mean, it's a very, very close game, but a very tense game. A great finish there. It was well worked, obviously, the stepo that we saw as well.
Can I get a golazo in the chat one time for the one time? I mean, that is some special stuff. To have that secondary step over when you get it with R9, just to open up that weak foot, it's a very creative way of doing that. And you're just not going to see that, again, at the beginner level, and definitely not even at the competitive or the pro level. It's just not necessarily all the way in the meta to have that kind of reverse step over. Rude Hullet goes for a little bit of chip to the back post. We are seeing more crosses from Mkers than some of the other teams that we've seen on display today. Does that surprise you? Nope. R9?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think it does surprise me. Most of the time, in the games that I've watched and when I play FUT Champs myself, I normally do see them try and work it into the box or go to the edge of the box and try and trivela it. But we're seeing a lot of crosses in. Obviously, they do have R9, Hullet as well, Zidane, players that can head to the ball. But it's very interesting.
Top of the box. Virgil's got to get off it. Does get off it. Finds R9. R9 out wide. Back post cross, might be on, might be off. It was debatable there with Mbappe trying to isolate that matchup. Jarzinho, very popular again as a right wing or a right forward. We just don't have that many options at this point in the game that are that competitive. And now it's going to be another one of those scenarios where you're building up. And the team talks worked at this point. And maybe it's time. I don't know if I want to manifest, but maybe it's time that FUTWIZ scores the late goal, and that's going to be the decider.
Yeah, I do think they need a little bit of luck on their side. I mean, they have conceded 2 late goals in the last couple of games they've played. So maybe sometimes you need that little bit of luck that goes your side, a little bit of fortune. And I mean, I was speaking to actually Dan, their owner, just a minute ago, and he was saying that he felt sick with the goals that they've been conceding. So I'm sure he'd be happy if they can get a goal late in the game to keep his nerves at bay.
He's still got to be proud of some of the moments they've created as well. Just a little bit unlucky with some of those closeouts. And that's the name of the game when it comes to FIFA. This is a game that's not going to reward you if you're not able to see it out or if you miss any chances. As you see Jarzinho here, edge of the box. What a pick out there. Pele, beautiful cancellation, extra step over. Good defending as well to step into that line of space, Maldini. Ginola looking for the counter. Maybe missed an option to go forward there to Ruud Gullit. And you can tell the game's evened itself out a little bit as well. It's getting a little more tense. It's slowed down slightly.
Yeah, it definitely has slowed down. Normally in the 60th minute, we normally see a pause as well. A couple of changes, bring on a few fresh legs, but we haven't seen that yet. I mean, I literally just, I spoke it into existence, didn't I?
Ruud Gullit, Vieira, Zidane. Oh, what a chip that is. I don't know if it's going to get there, but the idea, pure class. Trying to pick out little spaces, especially with the amount of defenders as you're building out that are building up that are going to pack into the box. They're going to really do a good job of sitting and kind of waiting for their moments to step. And I'm wondering as well, with this pause being cued, if we're just going to see subs or if one of these teams is really going to go for it and push forward and be a lot more aggressive.
I feel like it'd probably be FUTWIZ if that's the case. They do need a goal very, very shortly because, I mean, they've had 2 points on board from the games they've played so far. They definitely need some points. Obviously, we do know they have another leg in a couple of weeks' time. However, you know, they're going to want to try and get maximal points, especially with the great players and teams that are in their table. I mean, realistically, individually, we've got Nicholas, the Iceman, someone that's really, really good. Ethan, NiKSNEB done really well in E-Premier League. And Nicholas actually yesterday won the qualifier for E-Prem for United. So he's on fine form at the moment.
Oh, great pick out. Mbappe, can he find the extra pass, the extra layoff? Nearly. Scary times. And again, that pause is still waiting, and I'm expecting, especially with FUTWIZ here, to really try to push some bodies. I agree with you. I don't think they can afford to have these 3 draws. Granted, they're getting some points, but you really want to carry some sort of momentum when all these guys come back. They're going to be in London. You're going to match up again, and you don't feel like you have to get every single point available. Take some pressure off you.
Yeah, and especially if there's a patch as well before the next time they play, the game's going to be different. So you've got to try and get as many points as possible. And a win, 3 points is a lot better than obviously a draw, which only gives you 1 point.
Oh, great pick out. Mbappe, fantastic defending there from Vieira, keeps it in. Good lob to Jarzinho. Pause has been queued for almost 20 minutes now. You talked about that 60th minute and the changes being made, the substitutions, potentially some formation adjustments on the fly. It's a big mistake there from Jarzinho in the middle of the pitch. Ginola, can he find R9? Not quite. Zidane with the step. You feel a little nervy. It doesn't seem as decisive. We always say it needs to be late and it needs to be great. Well, it hasn't had that same type of razzle or that same extra spark that's been necessary. What a pick out here. Mbappe, fake shot, goalkeeper, Dudek. Big hand on the near post, and there's that pause. And the game that you're playing there is a bit of a 50-50. You're trying to bait the goalkeeper. Can you pull him out of position, or can you at least adjust to what you're seeing, what's happening?
Yeah, I think they're obviously, I felt like they should have probably gone across goal. I know personally I would have in that situation, but obviously it's down to that moment and what you think is best. It may be a potential goalkeeper movement there, but we all know how good corners are in this FIFA. Can they maybe capitalise on something that probably should have been a goal? Can they whip it into the box and maybe see a goal?
And currently in the other game as well, just to keep you guys in the loop, we have a draw with Guild and Blue United 1-1. Of course, we will switch back and forth as results come in, or if we have goals to update you on. And you can hear everybody communicating. They're talking here how they want to close this out, because this does have the making, not to play on the words with Mkers, but it has the making of something late happening. Got 5-6 minutes. Both sides might have one additional chance.
Yeah, I definitely think there could be a couple of chances in this game for either side, really. A couple of mistakes as well that we've seen. We see a whippage of the ball. I mean, that's why you have Gullit in your team, with how good he is in the air.
Huge mistake. Vieira steps through. What a save from Dudek again. And I was talking to both the Swedes. They said Dudek is the man to lead the back line. He's the man in charge, and it's showing. João Cancelo, he's open. Isolated. Ronaldo, he did not climb well. I'm actually surprised. A lot of space to work with here. Haaland coming in off the bench, maybe a little too direct, but there's a mistake there. Pele into space. Also heard that we have an update in the other matchup. Guild, Blue United, João Cancelo, extra pass made, Ruud Gullit steps into space. You see what happens. The go-ahead for Guild, and that is huge because, again, everyone has been winning against Blue United. That would be a major drop-off for the likes of Nicholas and Sanchez. Haaland, can he do something with it? It's a good idea. Weak foot maybe let him down. This one's gonna wrap up 2-2, and that's 3 draws for FUTWIZ, and that's kind of the takeaway. When you think about this, they have played well so far today, but they don't have that much to show for it.
Yeah, they played really well. Obviously, we see them play really well against Leipzig. They played really well against a good team in Mkers, but they're just not able to get the 3 points. I mean, coming into it, you would take a draw against Leipzig. However, when you're 4-0 up, you expect it to be a win.
Wow. I mean, if you're reviewing, again, it's just how FIFA can be kind of cruel in times. If you don't close out matches, you give up late opportunities. And we are going to go back to the closeout. I think that's the 89th or the 90th minute if you're looking at this Guild versus Blue United. Could there be an additional goal or a see-out or a closeout, some game management from the likes of Guild? Or could we see a late bit of drama here from Blue United to take away maybe a draw and get something on the board? Nope, not quite. 2-1 for Guild, and that keeps them in the running. I've kind of felt from the beginning of today, even before all the gameplay got underway, that this would be one of those situations or scenarios or groups where you'd have 4 teams battling for 2 spots.
Yeah, exactly. I think with the names that we have, I think all these teams here you expect to win. However, I think there's been a lot of goals, and I think they're all really, really good. And I think coming into this, I think they needed to win that game, especially with the points that if they dropped against them, it'd be a problem. However, Guild looking really good so far.
I don't know if they're going to walk away feeling like they're looking that good. Their expectation is to win all these games, especially when you're dealing with the likes of NiKSNEB, who's one of the most decorated individuals that we have in the competitive scene. Having that swap as well, bringing in the likes of dsaanchez in order to get results. I'm not going to say that NiKSNEB has struggled in 2v2s because that really hasn't been the case, but he hasn't always had perfect partners throughout that. He's had some that have worked really well, others maybe not so much. And this is one of those new partnerships that we've been building and building and building. And we did see some nice little goals. I saw a lot of golazos in the chat. You guys can let us know what really stood out for you in both those matchups. But I'm just happy we're not seeing clean sheets. I'm telling you, every time I get up here, people just stop playing defense. I like it. I don't know if they can hear us talking or what the situation is, but it's just been a reoccurring theme.
Maybe you're a good luck charm. I mean, every game that I've commentated on so far, there's been a lot of games as well, a lot of goals so far as well. So I'm looking forward to the next game.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to have to close out of the day. And I know that Kyle is down there. I think he's with NiKSNEB, the champion, the Iceman. I'm curious what he has to say after getting that result against Blue.
I am indeed, Mike, with NiKSNEB 99 FC, a.k.a. the Iceman, as we've seen so many times at these tournaments. NiKSNEB, great win for you there. We'll come on to that in a moment, but I want to focus on the start of the tournament today. How would you sum up your team's start?
At the moment, I'm feeling like not bad. I think our group is really, really tough. So I think at the moment, I think we have 5 points, so that's okay. But yeah, we had many mistakes. We don't have like enough time to practice. It's our fault. But yeah, at the moment, I'm feeling like it's okay, not bad.
Okay, not bad. All right, I'll take that from yourself, even though normally you're extremely confident and humble at the same time. Let's talk about that game then against Blue United. It took until the final few moments, really, to get that winning goal, but they all count. You get the win. How has it been teaming up with dsaanchez? How have you been working together?
I got a really good thing. We speak Spanish, so that's really great for me. I think it's my first time speaking Spanish like in a team. You know, I play in Argentina, so national team. But yeah, we are confident. We are getting so many moments and bad moments maybe. But yeah, I'm feeling confident with him. He is a really good player and also a really nice guy.
I'm sorry you've got to do the interview in English. I'm learning Spanish, though, so maybe in a year, 2 years, 5 years, I'll be able to interview you in Spanish. Let's look ahead, though, to the next game, RB Leipzig. Everyone's talking about Umut. Everyone's talking about Vejrgang as well. You will have seen what they're both capable of. You will have faced some of them as well at times. This is a huge matchup for yourself for the tournament. What are you expecting from it?
I think they are unbeaten, so yeah, let's see. I think they are so good. You know, Umut is the last world champion, Anders is like the star now. But yeah, I saw them I watched them doing many step overs. Have you seen it? They are so good at the offensive side, but that's okay. Let's see. You know, best of one is a really different thing. So yeah, as I say, let's see.
I just need a yes or a no. RB Leipzig, are they the best team in the group?
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, there we go. I thought I was going to get an answer from you just there. Well, NiKSNEB, it's great to chat to you. I'll let you go off and get ready ahead of this huge game. But I'm throwing over to the man in red. I can see that jacket shining. It's Richard Buckley and Rachel Stringer.
I mean, I can't believe Kyle Walker actually asked NiKSNEB that. Who's the best team? Obviously, he thinks himself, Kyle Walker. But, I mean, he's going to have memories, good or bad, of the World Cup there, losing on pens to Umut.
I mean, I think most of the memories from Copenhagen are bad. 2 penalty shootout losses in the 2 tournaments that he played. Even though he won a huge amount of prize money, he didn't win the trophy he wanted to win.
And there was a question mark of him even coming back to compete this season. Yeah. Yes, thank goodness he is back. We'll talk about that matchup in a short while. Let's go back to our feature matchup then. It was, of course, FUTWIZ and Mkers. It ended in a draw, another draw as well for Team FUTWIZ.
I mean, this story between these two sides is just constantly ever flowing. They matched so many times over the course of last season, whether it was Club World Cup qualifying or in numerous different tournaments. And I think a draw seems to be a decent result for both sides. I mean, maybe it could be 2 points dropped for either side, but I think this group is going to come down to RB Leipzig +1, and every point matters at this point.
Oh, that's tight, isn't it? Only the top two, of course, go to those finals in January. Let's then go back to have a conversation about Guild. Obviously played Blue United there, got a last-minute winner, I'm going to say 2-1. Obviously, Blue United were the team that got that first goal, which was a great statement from them, Rich.
Yeah, absolutely was. And look, I think it was a surprise for the neutral, if you're watching this game, with how this story's been going. Blue United seem to be the team that people are taking points off, but they are very, very dangerous if you're not playing at your very best. And it took until the second half for Guild to answer back. 51 minutes on the clock where they got the equaliser. No real reaction. I think they knew that 3 points had to be essential in this game if they wanted to try and close that gap, and they left it late, but who else but NiKSNEB to slot in to make it 2-1.
Essential in terms of 3 points in the game, essential 3 points for a team like Guild as well, who possibly have been underperforming, only currently on 4 points.
I think massively underperforming when you look at the quality that those two players have. They put a lot of pressure on themselves to be at the top of this group, and whenever NiKSNEB is part of a team, whether that's in a country, whether that's as a club, you expect him to be leading the line. And look, middle of the table, 4 points. They played 3 games. It's been a split across those 3 matches so far. I do think that they would have thought we could have been one of those two sides on 7 points when they look above them, and they're playing the top of the pile at the moment. In the next game, RB Leipzig.
They've obviously got RB Leipzig next, like you just mentioned. RB Leipzig has sat out as well. Maybe had a bit of a break.
I think
got renewed energy as well to go up against Guild too. On now, possibly on a bit of momentum. You can see this is the next game. I
mean, RB Leipzig were on cloud 9, weren't they, after that 4-4 comeback? They probably needed a break to calm themselves back down, to get themselves back down to a pretty equal sort of level head coming out of the back of that draw against FUTWIZ. I think it'll be a really, really good game. I'll even give you a prediction, Rachel.
Yes or no, can they be the only team who beat RB Leipzig?
No.
He said it, he gave me an answer. Mike Labelle doesn't do that. Anyway, 2 massive matchups coming our way in round 5. This is the one we'll be focusing our attention on. RB Leipzig taking on Guild. Can Guild be the only team to defeat the boys from Germany? And then the second matchup is this one. Obviously, FUTWIZ taking on Blue United. Come back and join us for these 2 games.
Well, here we go then, the big one. We have been teasing it. This man has been teasing what could happen in this last and final round. But the big question is, as you've said, will RB Leipzig go unbeaten today? Will they join the likes of Complexity? And will they join the likes of Team Focus, who have also had great weeks in the EA Sports Cup? We want to know your thoughts at home in the Twitch chat as well. Will RB Leipzig go unbeaten tonight? Because it's going to be a tough game for them.
Yeah, can we get this? I'm making this up as we go right now. Buckley's big question. Round 5. Will RB Leipzig Gaming go unbeaten? Let us know in the chat, yes or no. Will they go unbeaten? Hashtag will get trending. Buckley's big question.
I mean, we've got to speak about their results today, Richard. What an interesting mixed bag they've had as well. We teased them as a duo that would be causing problems. They had success last year in the virtual Bundesliga Club Championship, and there's Vejrgang on screen there. He played a massive part in that process, alongside, as we said, Umut, the FIFA E World Cup champion. They're up against this man, the Iceman, who's been playing FIFA at the highest of levels since FIFA 18 or FIFA 17, almost, you should say, where he made the FIFA E World Cup finals. Since then, he has come so close on so many occasions. Finally got his E-Champions League last year. But we sat here and we always thought Nicholas Razek went from Guild. Who was going to be that teammate? dsaanchez coming, and some would argue he may have been the rookie of the year last year in the FGS. A great pickup from them.
Yeah, fantastic pickup. And I also think Nicholas had a bit of input in who he wants his teammate to be. I think he's earned the right to have that input on, I want this particular player to be my duo. I want him to be my partner in crime throughout the FIFA 23 season. And so far, as I mentioned with Rachel, I think they are underperforming, but given the group standings, the middle of the table, they've got 4 points. It's not been an awful performance here from Guild Esports.
And I've got to ask you about it. I didn't get to commentate the game, but I was watching the back room. That 4-4, I mean, I think anyone would admit, when they were 4-0 down, you thought that's job done, right, for FUTWIZ?
Job done, 3 points on the board, unbeaten streak snapped. However, Guild Esports, I should say RB Leipzig, what a comeback, what a performance. And the question really is, have they calmed down after turning that 4-0 around? And what are Guild Esports going to be like after being 1-0 down to winning the game 2-1 against Blue?
And it wouldn't have made it right, Rich, if it wasn't Vejrgang that scored the equaliser. What a goal it was. A question for you, Rich, and it's one that will open up to you guys at home as well. Get involved in the conversation, formation-wise, because I spoke to some of the guys from FUTWIZ. FUTWIZ, I think, started at a 5 back in that game. Then they changed at the halfway point. What would you say has been the go-to formation tonight, or maybe across the last 4 weeks? Chance building up nicely here for Guild if they can find a way through, defended well by RB Leipzig.
I've seen a lot of the 4-3-2-1 being used. I think when you have that fullback as well that you can use to get forward and create the overload, it creates a lot of different avenues for attack, but also the 5-2-1-2 has been very, very prevalent that RB Leipzig have used to great effect, I have to say.
And also, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What formation are you rocking this year? And I mean, I guess had the most success with, because it can vary. You know, a 1v1 formation could be slightly different to what you've been seeing here or across the last 4 weeks in the EA Sports Cup. An early pause in this game. If you have just tuned in, this is the EA Sports Cup. We're in our last round of fixtures here in Group B. The big question has been, will RB Leipzig go unbeaten tonight? Here they come, Mbappe now. Here's Umut! And just like that, it didn't take him long, did it?
Didn't take them long at all smiles for RB Leipzig. The couple of step-overs inside the box opened up the space and then rifled that strike into the bottom left corner. Real beautiful piece of play to open up the scoring right there. El Soon says 4-2-3-1 is his favourite formation.
And a lot of love as well for the 4-1-2-1-2 in the chat as well. 4-3-2-1 on that as well. Again, it's all personal preference, but we hope that the pros here at least showcasing how you should be using half of these formations at the highest of levels. What a start, though, for RB Leipzig. I was speaking to Vejrgang and Umut, and they just went, we've got to go and beat it today. We've got to go and beat it today, is what Anders was saying to his teammate Umut.
Again, though, if you look back at their 3 victories, their 3 games that they've had success in, they scored in the 5th minute in the opening game, they scored in the 4th minute in the second game, and then obviously they had the 4-4 draw, and now they've opened the scoring after, 17 minutes? It's that early pressure that cracks, and then they can really start to control the game.
And technically on paper, Rich, the games that they've scored first in, they've won. 2-0, 2-0, went 4-0 down to FUTWIZ somehow, and I mean somehow pulled that back to make it 4-4 in 45 minutes. And as it stands, it's not looking good for dsaanchez and for Nicholas, who find themselves 1-0 down after just 20 minutes here. You can just see the player cameras. You just see the 2 colours there. Keep an eye on the individual player cursors of who is controlling who. It was Umut that scored that goal with that red cursor above his head. He's had a lot of success with Mbappe. One thing that I'll give credit to, though, Rich, on the flip side for Guild, they haven't led many games, but they have come back quite a lot.
Yeah, they have, and I think when you look at their performances where they have come back, they've shown real tenacity.
This is nice, R9, brilliant feed, dsaanchez, referee's crying out for a penalty. Referee says, no, we're playing on.
Could have been. Patrick Vieira shoving him to the floor, but as we were saying about the comebacks, they've shown that they're never out of games, and I think that's something you also really put part and parcel with Nicholas's performances when he's playing 1v1 and solo play. He's never out of a game.
Oh, here's Anders. What a tackle that is at the back from Nicholas. You're right on that. He is never out of a game, is he, Nicholas? With a never-say-die attitude, you saw moments of that at the World Championships last year in Copenhagen. He was scoring late goals and climbing his way back into the games. What we're going to see here from this corner. Chance.
Oh!
It was clever.
Very clever. You saw the cross whipped into the box using the little icon at the bottom. It was pushed all the way over to the right-hand side, the ball sort of image. And that meant that he drilled it into the box, but then he also player locked to put himself into a better position, moving away from the defenders inside the box.
I guess the only downfall you could have on that, Rich, it was unfortunately it was Lucio, the centre-back, that was queuing up for the shot. Just slightly off target. Look at the space now. Quite a high line they've played here, Guild. Maybe too slow there, Vejrgang. Referee says play on. 33 minutes gone here. As we said, this game is underway. Also is Blue United against FUTWIZ. Blue United still looking for their first point on the board here in the EA Sports Cup. R9, lovely switch of play. Finds Hernandez, which will feel that overlap as he will every single day of the week. Those fullbacks just bombing on high.
Final game of the day as well. I think it's very important for all four teams who are underway right now to end the day strong, to end the game with 3 points.
I think FUTWIZ of anyone,
absolutely against Blue,
especially the draws they've had on paper today. They'll be thinking, if we did this, if we did that, if we just didn't cause this mistake or whatnot, we may have had an extra 2 points to our name. They need this last 3 points here to be in that conversation, no doubt, for 4 weeks' time, where they will be back to play their last group outing. Pele, good feet, finds R9, defended well by Vieira, still not fully dealt with though, as RB Leipzig still have possession.
If the results go the way that they have, and FUTWIZ can't pick up a victory, you start to see a bit of separation, especially if RB Leipzig were victorious here against Guild, from Mkers and RB Leipzig at the top, 10 and 7, and then everybody else on sort of 3 and 4 points respectively. It's asking a lot in 4 weeks' time when we return.
And you can't complain of that really for Mkers. 7 points from 12, it's not bad, is it?
It's very impressive. It put you top of the group in a couple of other of the matchups, especially in group the first week of action. So I think it's Group C, if memory serves it correctly.
Last week's group was 8 points top of the poll, Rich. So 7.
Yep.
Very impressive indeed. Half-time here in the EA Sports Cup. This is our final round of action, and it's currently RB Leipzig, Umut and Vejrgang leading Nicholas and dsaanchez of Guild Esports. We'll give you an update as soon as we got one from the other game that's taking place between FUTWIZ and Blue United. But those are the stats at half-time.
Yeah, you can just see the domination of the ball. 62% possession for RB Leipzig. They've had more chances on goal, they've created more, and there really has sort of been that, not necessarily one-way traffic, but the control over the game that they expected to have when scoring first. It's been the repetitive sort of play of the day. When RB Leipzig score first, they go on to win the game. And whenever they've scored first, they've kept a clean sheet.
98% passing accuracy on top of that as well, Richard. They have been pretty incredible when they've had possession. An update for you on that FUTWIZ Blue United game. Half-time, it is 0-0, so pressure slowly building in that one, because regardless, a team needs to win that game. A draw really is...
doesn't help either.
Yeah, it really is not the result you want. So expect one of those two teams to really go out fighting and try and get a big 3 points on the board. Tadam for Guild, wins a corner. Positive start of this for Nicholas and dsaanchez. dsaanchez with the corner now with Zidane. What we're going to see here, whipped in. Oh, he went for it. I mean, they conceded that goal earlier.
Not like that, though. Earlier, they had that would have been a left footer in swinging it. He almost did a outside the boot Travella corner into the back of the net.
It was curving, wasn't it? And nearly Swinging towards the top corner. Very, very good and quick thinking from the newest signing of Guild, dsaanchez there. One of those games you need something like that, a set piece, just to pull you back into the type, especially when you might not be getting all the possession in the world. What, 38% there at half-time? The idea was there of the chip. It's fallen back nicely. Perisic tries to twist and turn his man. This could be a chance. Zidane, is there a cutback? Tries to walk it in. The chance is still alive, and just about Van der Sar gets two hands on it.
You just saw Vejrgang there in the bottom right corner look towards Umut and sort of give him a gesture with the hand. Whether that's a focus, whether that's a let's concentrate, come on, we need to see this out. Guild Esports are really, really pushing RB Leipzig back here.
Big win there from Umut with Theo Hernandez. Look at the run that's been teased. No one's called that run though. Hernandez cut back inside. R9. Good defended again. Virgil van Dijk, right place, right time, just to stop RB Leipzig in their tracks, because they were very close to finding their third 2-0 potential victory of the night. And I can assure you it's pretty terrifying when you got Anders Vejrgang running at you with the likes of Mbappe or R9, and he's pulling out skill moves and trying to find the right combinations. There's over 500 people that didn't have an answer to that last year on FIFA when he was winning game after game.
It's a really good win of the ball high up the pitch there for Guild Esports.
Keep an eye on that run from R9. Didn't use him in the end. Mbappe, good feed. dsaanchez with Mbappe. Tries his best to sort of worm his way around in and out of the defence of RB Leipzig.
We're just seeing a few people asking as well in the chat about the FUTWIZ game up against Blue United. Still 0-0. We've not heard anything from that game. If there is a goal, we will show you it. Don't worry about that.
Patience. Pele, good win, but sort of so isolated up there on their own. Zidane sort of found himself a bit more out on this right-hand side in the last 20 minutes or so. Yaya Toure. There's the white shirts moving forward now. Cut back inside, nice win. Pele reverse elastico from Nicholas. It was red again, well. It's the best we've seen them in the attacking third, but there's just still no way through.
The press that they've had has been really, really impactful. They've won the ball 2 or 3 different times, high up the pitch, trying to just make a mistake out of that RB Leipzig defence. However, they're just about, through the skin of their teeth, hanging on.
Oh my. Stop it! Stop it! Oh my God, Umut. With Pele from about 35 yards, said time it green, outside the boot, why not? You could just see the reaction of Vejrgang there. He's not happy, he wants that to go in.
No one following it up. That's what the teacher in primary school. Follow the ball, chase it down. Conversations there between Vejrgang and Umut.
You just felt like that may have happened though, Rich, because there was just so much time on the edge of the box where Guild were just not able to sort of cover that area of ground, and we've seen how dangerous that Javella can be. Came so close again.
I was speaking to Umut backstage before we got underway today, and when they were just chatting, saying this feels a bit weird for them too, actually, because when they're practicing and when they're playing in warm-ups or qualifiers or whatever it may be, they don't talk to each other, not even in sort of like a call together. When they're playing, they just play, and they just play off instincts and they play off each other. So now they've got the opportunity to be next to each other and sort of have that conversation in these really important moments. You'll see how it goes. It certainly seems like Vejrgang's the one leading the convo.
I'll certainly tell you when he's not happy about something.
He'll let you know. Don't worry about that.
To his teammate there. And there has been a goal in the game that everyone has been asking about. FUTWIZ Blue United. When we have that goal, we have it now. It looks as if it's gone the way of the UK boys. Brilliant feet in the box from Ethan. One more pass, finds R9. NiKSNEB take a bow. R9 has just put FUTWIZ 1 goal up with 20 minutes, and also Guilds have just... we've just jumped across.
Got to say. Outside of the boot, over the top of the goalkeeper.
Nicholas.
It swerved.
Nicholas.
Swung.
Who does that?
Unbelievable. You can't predict the trajectory of that. Green time, Rude Hullet. Like a balloon when you slowly let the helium out of it and it just meanders away in loads of different directions. Outstanding strike.
Timed it green, outside the boot. Nicholas just doing Nicholas things once again.
You don't think about that, Travella, from there, because you only really do that if you're on the other side. So if you've got probably a left footer and then you hit the Travella with the outside of the left boot across the goalkeeper, what he's done is he's took a different variation on it.
He's made his own variation by the looks of it. Hullet has had a few goals today outside the box. He certainly can do it.
What did we say, though? Don't count Nicholas out when he's in these matches.
Well, there's been another goal in this game. We looked like FUTWIZ were going to get the 3 points, but Blue United said, no, not just yet. One more ball over. Brilliantly well done.
Ivan Perisic. I think that was.
And there's just been another goal in that game as well. We'll find out which way it's gone as soon as we can. Outside the box. Vejrgang had the idea with R9, but Van der Sar read that well. FUTWIZ conceded. FUTWIZ went and scored. Back in front, 15 minutes left in that one.
What a game between Blue United and FUTWIZ. 3 points essential for FUTWIZ. And also Blue United if they want to try and keep in the hunt.
Guild looking to unpick this. RB Leipzig side, they've got a corner. Watch out.
I think he's not going to move the keeper, surely not.
It's Nicholas that's taking this with Pele.
Inside foot curled.
You can just see Hullet being controlled right at the edge. So it's Cristiano Ronaldo. What are we going to see here? Pele whips it in towards the back post. There was an idea there, but unfortunately, the conviction of it just wasn't in sync.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit too much power on it. No one picking up at the back post. Quite wasteful, and now you give RB Leipzig one final roll of the dice to take all 3 points.
Well, they showed just how cool and calm they were when they were 4-0 down to FUTWIZ and brought that one back to 4-4. Can they do it against probably the coldest and the coolest guy in FIFA Esports, the Iceman Nicholas? They will play for the last chance of the game.
One additional.
But regardless, this could be an unbeaten day for RB Leipzig. Or is there one more goal? Lots of space on the box. Cristiano Ronaldo for Anders Vejrgang. They'll clear it out of play. And Guild will take a point from this game. And RB Leipzig will remain unbeaten today. We can give that one to Richard Buckley. They will get a total of 8 points on the board, which is not bad. It's the same the complexity had last time out.
And I think when you look at that game, there was frustration from Vejrgang especially. Umut just having the handshake there with Nicholas, a point apiece. They were really, really good in that second half where Guild pushing on and trying to snatch the result away. Team FUTWIZ made it 3-1 through Kylian Mbappe. That will seal the 3 points, you would imagine, with what, about 5-6 minutes left to play.
And we can't argue, Rich, as we conclude our thoughts from RB Leipzig Guild, how big of a 3 points this is for FUTWIZ, because they've had quite a few draws today. And if they didn't leave with a bonus 3 points, well, nearly they weren't for a split second, as they would have tied it, or came close to tying the game, sorry, 3-2.
Well, they'll be finishing the day on 6.
It's not bad.
It's half. I mean, I think EthxnH finished on 6 last week as well, and sort of they were going away a little bit disheartened, but 6 points out of 12, you take it.
And you've got to think, RB Leipzig are only on 8, Rich.
Yep, Mkers on 7.
That's a win. Lucio doesn't know what he's doing in that area. But unfortunately, it's not going to look promising for Blue United. It's going to be what SPQR did last week, and unfortunately, that's get 0 points.
They've been very competitive, though, have Blue United. They have played well. However, just not being able to squeak out those results, turn those losses into draws and those draws into wins.
And as it stands in this Group B, it will look a little bit as so. Obviously, it'll be RB Leipzig on 8 points, top of the pile. Team Mkers on 7. FUTWIZ on 6. And I think Guild was up 4 points on the board for Guild, and then 0 we're seeing from Blue United. One more goal maybe for FUTWIZ to end the day here.
I think 5 for Guild. A win, 2 draws and a loss, I believe. I've just looked on my shoulder as well. We've got a very, very special interview coming up that I'm looking forward to.
Added time. And that will do us for week 4 of the EA Sports Cup. All the games concluded in Group B, and the storyline is as follows. To be fair, 2 unbeaten teams this week.
2 unbeaten teams. I don't think anyone's really hit the heights that they expected to hit. I probably predicted maybe a 12-point haul from RB Leipzig. That wasn't meant to be. 2 wins, 2 draws. Guild Esports, I think, will be a little bit disappointed by their own performance, very similar to FUTWIZ as well. And I think Mkers will be happy. 7 points, not a bad haul. You're in second at the moment. You've got a little bit of breathing room as well on the other teams. And then at the bottom, Blue United, they have to do something miraculous if they want to go through on the 5th of December.
Yeah, well, as we said, we're sort of halfway now in the group stages because every group has to come back and play another day of fixtures. So I believe next week we're pretty much back in Group C again, the group of death we called it. Loads of FIFA, loads of games played, 5 rounds done and dusted. Your storyline of the night is RB Leipzig sit top of the pile. And speaking of RB Leipzig, I think it's a very special guest now joined with Rachel, Mike and Kyle.
Yeah, thanks so much, boys. Well, yeah, you can see a very special guest right next to us. Anders Vejrgang, of course, going by the name Vejrgang. Now, I'm going to speak to you first about being possibly the most talked about FIFA player on the planet. How do you, at such a young age, get your head around that and perform like you have done this evening?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on me, and I know that. And of course, I expect much from myself. And yeah, we won 2 matches and 2 draws, so I think, yeah, we are #1 in the group. So yeah, it was good today, but hopefully we can, yeah, get out of the group, yeah, in a month, I think.
Well, you say all of that, you are top of the group, but I was just chatting to you a moment ago, and I was asking, how are you feeling? You said, sad, not good. Did you see that goal? Did you see the chance that we missed? You expect perfection. That's what we've seen from you on all of those streams last season, going so many games undefeated. This season as well, you want to bring that form here, don't you? You want to show that you are one of the best in the world.
Yeah, of course I want. I mean, yeah, I have played online tournaments and, yeah, Weekend League where I have won, like, yeah, many tournaments. So, yeah, this tournament is a lot bigger and there's more pressure. So, yeah, of course I want to perform as good as I can, and I know that both Umut and me can perform better than we did today. But yeah, I mean, we didn't play at our best, and we are still #1. So yeah, I mean, that shows, yeah, how good a team we is.
And obviously you've played tons 1v1, a lot 2v2. What has been the biggest challenge switching from the 1v1 into the 2v2 format?
I mean, there's many differences. I prefer 1v1, but I mean, I think Umut also do that as well. But yeah, we are just practicing a lot together, and yeah, trying to improve together day by day, and yeah, hopefully we can improve yeah, to the next month, and yeah, hopefully we can get out of the group.
Well, yeah, obviously you're sitting at the top of the table. I've got a question though on that matchup against FUTWIZ. 4 goals down, if you remember that one, at half-time. We're just going to show you what you managed to do though in that second half. Get 4 back. When did you start to believe?
I mean, yeah, when we was 4-0 down, of course, yeah, you don't believe that much, but I mean, yeah, every time, like, when we score the first goal, yeah, we know that, yeah, they will be a bit nervous because we will do the same, so, and yeah, because concentration is so good this year. So yeah, at 4-3 with like 15 minutes ago, yeah, we know they will be very nervous and do some mistakes, but yeah, literally after we scored to 3-4, they was very good at keeping the ball, I remember. But yeah, in the 90 minutes we score, and I was quite happy.
Well, we can see how happy you were. I love that you're not afraid to celebrate, even though your opponents are sitting 2-3 foot away from you. You're very vocal when it comes to scoring those sort of goals. It feels like that's when we see you at your happiest and your most confident, when you're drawing, when you're winning, when you're scoring, when you're playing FIFA competitive esports right here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I also do celebrations in game, and yeah, some people don't like that, but I mean, yeah, every player here gets very happy when they score, and of course, when I do it, it's not like against each other. It's just like, yeah, for myself, because I'm very happy that we scored. So yeah, I was just happy that, yeah, we managed to do the comeback.
We want more of it.
We do indeed. Final question, actually. Who is captain, you or Umut? Who takes control?
I'm the captain.
Good, captain over there. First season in FGS, and he is taking control of the team. I love it. Right, Mike, you have some analysis presented by PlayStation Tournaments of that last matchup there. Guild taking on RB Leipzig. Can you take us through this one?
Yeah, I want to walk us through, and I like to call this the offensive zone. And it's really one of those areas on the virtual pitch that allows you to create, and it gives you options with those creative portions of the pitch, because you're able to have certain levels of versatility and decisions that have to be made. So you're getting on the edge of the box here, and you're gonna see with the freeze frame, but you open up your body initially, and it kind of teases that you might use the Trivela, which is completely overpowered this year, and the keeper's out of position. So now you either can attack that space, you can go for the Trivela shot, or you can attack where the defender's already at. You're gonna see a step over here with Mbappe. Fumbles through a little bit, but it still falls into the same pathway of this being kind of that offensive zone, shall we say, at the competitive scene, and it's where a lot of goals are coming from.
Fumbling through. Vejrgang, would you agree with fumbling there, which Mike just described?
Yeah, a little step over, you move and you groove. Like, sometimes you need to bounce one way or the other, but that's the area that you should be attacking.
Precision, not fumbling. I don't think it was fumbling anywhere. Anyway, we won't put him on the spot there. Let's just confirm then the standings from our last group that we saw in action today before we get to do it all again next week. So, RB Leipzig Gaming, top of the pile there with 8 points. Mkers second with 7. Team FUTWIZ bounced back then with a win with 6 points. Guild on 5. Blue United at the bottom of the table on 0 points.
It's still very close, Vejrgang. So looking at that, yes, you are top of the table, 8, but Mkers in 7, Team FUTWIZ in 6, Guild Esports in 5. We know that Blue United are quite far down at the bottom of the table, but that could all change. In 4 weeks' time, it could look very differently. What are you going to work on in the next 4 weeks to ensure that you remain top of the table?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I think we defended quite good. I mean, yeah, we conceded like goals I haven't seen before this game. So yeah, we can watch that again and see what we can improve. But I mean, in the offensive, I know we can play so much better. Like I feel like sometimes we play too slow, because I know like every time we're in the box, we can easily score. So I feel like personally that we should play a bit faster and just get into the box, because I know that we are better than the opponents. So if we just get into the box, I know we will score many goals.
Sign of a champion there. Better than the opponents and already thinking about 4 weeks' time. Mike, you've got your goals of the week, and I'm pretty sure Vejrgang might feature in a few of them.
There's definitely going to be multiples if we're doing some early foreshadowing, but there were so many goals today to choose from as well. Just in a couple of these matchups with some of the back and forth, but at number 5, we have the direct corner kick. You don't see this happen that frequently. Goalkeeper pulled out of position, and it's really one of those big moments as well. It allowed Mkers to go on from there and get that victory. Here we have some of the classic resurfacing, steps into space, FUTWIZ, across the body, green time finish, and we really don't see that goal scored that often. Ruud Gullit looking confident as ever. Green for the money is always good. As you see here, again, edge of the box. Might be familiar with this one as we have Vejrgang next to us. Is that extra pass for the comeback of dreams. It started. You see the motivation, you see the belief, you see the hope. And as the runner-up position, and one of my favorite goals of the day as well, you see R9, he's working. You got the resurface, another one of the step overs, extra pass, a little elastico for good fortune, for good luck. The top corner being the best corner. Guild with the equalizer there against Blue. And again, you have to have that result against Blue. And if it wasn't talked about a little bit, it has to be the step over of dreams, the green time finish, Zidane, and then the pop-off of the day.
Of course we had to finish with RB Leipzig and this man next to us. I mean, what a week 4 we've just had. And we obviously teased this team as being the one to watch, and they did deliver, that is for sure. We get to do it obviously all again next week. Going to put you on the spot one last time before we say goodbye. You've got Complexity, Movistars and Focus all topping the tables. Who are you most scared of?
What did you say? Movistar, Focus and Complexity. I think, Focus is, we are good friends with them, and they was very good in that group. We have also practiced a bit against them, but I mean, Riders won the E-Club, so I think probably they're the best team, but all 3 teams is very good, so we'll just do our best, and hopefully we'll go out of the group.
Yeah, well, hopefully you will. But it is Group C, of course. We get to see them in action once again next week. We mentioned it is Movistar Riders, the Club World Cup champions, back in action. They're currently topping the table. It's actually the guys we wouldn't expect. It's Team Falcon sitting at the bottom of that table. A lot of work to do, as have Team Fnatic, Movistar and Ducks, who are looking And going further at the moment, they're sitting in those top 2 positions. So it's all to play for this time next week. Thank you so much to Kyle, Anders and Mike for joining us, and Richard and Brandon, of course, and everyone for travelling here to London for week 4 of the EA Sports Cup. You can probably hear I'm losing my voice. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and we'll see you same time, same place next week when we get to do it all again. Good night.